5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Texas Democrats scatter. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
They've left because they're very un-Texan. Texans don't run from a fight.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Fox threatening action to expel from office dozens of state reps who've left the state to prevent Republicans from holding a vote on a new congressional map meant to create 5 new Republican-leading U.S. House districts. Some of those Democrats are in New York, welcomed by Governor Kathy Hochul, and she says she's talking about redoing their maps now.
If Republicans are willing to rewrite these rules to give themselves an advantage, then they're leaving us no choice. We must do the same.
For the Texas House to conduct business, at least 2/3 of the members have to be present. There are 150, so with 62 Democrats, at least 51 not being there is enough for the walkout to work. South Carolina House Republican Nancy Mace is looking to move home full-time.
I am running to be your governor of the great state of South Carolina.
Current Governor Henry McMaster is not allowed to run for a third term. A former University of Tennessee and Louisiana Tech football coach is running for Senate in Georgia.
Republicans lost both of Georgia's U.S. Senate seats in one night due to a special election alongside a regular election that both went to runoffs in January of 2021. Now, Senator John Ossoff is facing re-election, and longtime college football coach Derek Dooley is seeking the GOP nomination.
I'm Derek Dooley. I'm going to work with President Trump.
From his campaign ad, Republicans consider Ossoff the most vulnerable of Senate Democrats in their quest to increase their thin Senate majority. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Day 4 of a manhunt in Montana for a quadruple murder suspect.
This happened Friday at 10:30 in the morning in a bar, and authorities believe the suspect likely knew those he shot with his own rifle. Now, Michael Brown, an Army vet who retired as a sergeant from the Montana National Guard 16 years ago, he fled to the mountains outside this former mining town of Anaconda.
That's William Legioness. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our early August weather's still easy to take, but temperatures will be getting back to that summer feel going through the week. A mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon, 83, partly cloudy, 67 for the low. Tuesday, partly sunny, 86 in the afternoon. Wednesday, partly sunny, 88. 90 to 91 on Thursday, 93 on Friday. And, of course, we're going to start to feel that humidity coming back. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show Live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan, and stay cool this summer. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture. Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Monday. Man, Texas is the lead story in Illinois, and Illinois is a part of it. And it's kind of interesting to watch Illinois aid and abet the Texas Democrats. Texas Democrat kind of feels like an Illinois Republican.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
They're all convening.
I don't know if I love that.
We're going to talk with Jeanne Ives about the situation unfolding in Texas. Now, they're supposed to convene in Texas today, I believe at 3 p.m., and Texas is Central Time, so that'd be 3 p.m. our time as well, to vote on a redistricting of the maps in Texas. The Democrats say, no, we don't want to do this. This is not good. The people redrawing the potential maps in Texas, I'm sure this is an accident. But Jasmine Crockett would be drawn out of her district.
She's been pretty vocal about that.
You could have just said she's been pretty vocal.
She's been pretty vocal.
Yeah.
You could just say vocal.
Vocal.
This is really interesting to observe as an Illinois downstater Republican who is in the 13th congressional district of the state of Illinois. Last time we did the census, we lost a district. We lost a representative in the House of Representatives. Now, the redistricting that is taking place in Texas involves congressional districts, correct? Because Jasmine Crockett would be affected.
Yeah.
I've been looking at Illinois gerrymandering for quite some time. It's kind of one of those things that, like, I feel like I should scream even louder about the way districts are drawn in Illinois. But then sometimes, as you all know, it feels like screaming into a void. You can scream something and it's really obviously true, but if there aren't enough people in the right positions to care, then it doesn't matter how loud you scream or how frequently you scream. But it does bring to the surface right now some frustrations that I have about the districting in the state of Illinois when Texas Democrats are saying, essentially, we're taking our ball, we're going not home, we're going to the sanctuary state of Illinois to hide there where Democrats are safe, which is really could be, forget about the land of Lincoln. Just be, the land of refuge for Democrats. That's kind of the way J.B. Pritzker has set up the state of Illinois to be. I was researching in the state of Illinois the way that the maps are drawn. This is something that still, my understanding is with the state Supreme Court. The current maps in the state of Illinois are being looked at as unlawful maps. And it's an underreported story. We've talked about it here. We're going to talk about it again soon, probably a little bit later this week. Requirements under the Illinois Constitution for districting every 10 years, following the census, which happens on the decade. COVID was kind of a weird one. Shocker. In the following year, the Illinois General Assembly must enact legislation to redraw both legislative districts for the state Senate and representative districts for the state House. So if you look at the districts that are drawn in the state of Illinois, you always have to remember the difference between congressional districts. That's one thing. And then the General Assembly, which is made up of the state Senate and the state House. We have laws in the Illinois state constitution that say that there needs to be an equal population for legislative districts, one person, one vote, as mandated by the federal and state standards. I think that in the United States Congress, the United States House of Representatives, each vote in there is supposed to represent somewhere about 750,000 votes. So that way, that's why, is it Wyoming has a congressional district?
Yeah, because their population's too low.
Because it's tiny. For the state districts in the Illinois state constitution, it talks about one person, one vote. There should be an equal population represented by each person who is in that state house or that state senate. So you don't want to have somebody going to Springfield in the state of Illinois representing a whole bunch of people, because then your vote is diluted if you share a representative with a whole bunch more people than someone, say, from downstate. So yes, geographically speaking, a district is going to look larger if the people are more spread out in that district. You go into Cook County and there is a condensation of people in Chicago. I will remind you, Chicago is, I think, about 65% of the population of the state of Illinois. Love it or hate it, that's the truth. 65% of Illinois resides in Cook County. The Illinois state constitution says for these state legislative positions, they should represent equal population, Districts must be contiguous and reasonably compact. The interesting thing, though, about congressional districts in the state of Illinois. For congressional districts, none of the Illinois constitutional requirements for compactness, contiguity, or nesting apply. Redistricting is done solely by the legislature and subject to the governor's veto. If the legislature fails, no commission step is triggered, unlike the state legislative process. So in the state of Illinois, they actually have different rules for the representation in the United States Congress as standards that they have for their own state legislature. Isn't that interesting?
It almost sounds like they're weighting the scales a little bit. Now, I wouldn't accuse Illinois of doing that with gerrymandering, but
I would.
It does sound like that.
We are.
To me.
So going back to Texas, the reason why this is a big story, and yes, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to talk about the absolute abject hypocrisy of the state of Illinois and Governor Pritzker. And I'll tell you this. We'll get to this in a little bit later in the show. I have a favor to ask of Governor Pritzker. And I've talked to some state legislators, and it's a favor that they think that in J.B. Pritzker's pursuit to be president, a favor he might grant the state of Illinois, and it has to do with school choice. But we'll talk about that later in the show. In Texas, the last election has shown a pretty significant shifting of who's voting for which party. In the state of Texas, my understanding is that a lot of the districting has been done via race. That you think birds of a feather will flock together, and that definitely seems as though something, in my opinion, would be racially unfair to, like, okay, so if you're a black person and you get districted with a bunch of black people, but what if you're a black suburban person or a black urban person? What if you're a white urban person or a white rural person? I mean, you can't just say that race predicts political support. Although there is one party that has been flooding billions of dollars, I said that like Dr. Evil, into, well, I'm talking about the Democrats, into making sure that your political affiliation is strictly dictated by your skin color. How dehumanizing is that? Fox News reports Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas did not hold back. I mean, is there a time where Congresswoman Crockett has held back?
Typically, when she's talking about things that affect herself, she's very selfless. But in this circumstance, I feel like she's talking about...
See, people are not going to take this show seriously now. See what you're doing to this? The reputation of this here broadcast sullied by your foolishness.
Look, I'm just an objective
It's only
observer.
12:13.
I'm just an objective observer, but I'm still coming to the same conclusion as you. That's what's amazing.
New listeners don't understand you. Go look at the YouTube shorts. It'll explain it.
I still think in this circumstance, she's being very selfish because it's going to affect her.
Did not hold back when sharing her opinion of President Donald Trump during a progressive rally on Sunday. The firebrand Congresswoman from Texas urged the Democratic Party to get aggressive against the administration at the Phoenix stop of move-ons. Won't back down to her, hitting Trump with the obscene description in the process. Quote, "Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of sugar." That's not what she said.
Ew.
Okay, we know that. Are there Republicans who are speaking like that? There probably are.
Well, I think everybody would point to the one time that Trump dropped the F-bomb walking to the helicopter recently about Israel and Gaza.
That's different, though.
But that's
saying
the one.
and I can't hear, they don't know what the heck they're doing outside of the auto-tune rap that was put together, which was fantastic. Fox News reports Crockett joined fellow Democratic lawmakers, Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut, he's a winner, and Representative Ansari from Arizona for the rally held by a political advocacy group to inspire voters ahead of the next year's midterm election. So here's what Texas did. The Texas Democrats, you need to have, I think, 100 people to have a quorum in the legislature. The Democrats said, we're leaving the state. Where can we go and be safe? Let's go to Illinois. We'll be safe in Illinois. We'll be safe in DuPage County. DuPage County used to be a red county in northern Illinois, and the Democrats have successfully turned that into a blue county, which J.B. Pritzker affectionately and very proudly called Bluepage County in the last cycle of the election. Jeanne Ives is in DuPage County. Jeanne Ives challenged Bruce Rauner's probably the last actual, well, I don't want to put that on Darren Bailey. Darren Bailey is certainly a strong Republican, but Jeanne Ives was pretty fearless in her challenging of Bruce Rauner as the Republican in the primary and lost by, I think, about 2% in the primary to a sitting Republican governor. And the amount of money that Bruce Rauner spent compared to Jeanne Ives per vote that he got was just absolutely ridiculous. And then Bruce Rauner got so trounced in 2018. I hate to tell this story again. I was in here doing live coverage on election night in 2018 when J.B. Pritzker was running for his first term in office. I did not make it in the door around to the microphone I'm standing at right now before they called state of Illinois for J.B. Pritzker. Bruce Rauner lost re-election. The Texas Democrats have gone to Illinois to avoid the Texas legislature from being able to convene because they will not have a quorum. Now, Governor Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton in the state of Texas have decided and very much so vocalized that they will do everything in their power to punish the Democrats who choose not to show up to do their duty. What kind of legal ramifications do they have? They've got a lot of things at their fingertips they're going to try, and they're going to try everything. Will the Democrats show up and do their job this afternoon? I don't see how they could possibly. You can't flee to Illinois on Sunday night and then come back at Monday at 3 and be like, okay. You can't do that.
I just want a job.
I just want to do my job. I just want to. Is this the commie voice? I mean,
it's cross contamination.
What? I can't do it. I can't do Texan commie.
It's
How do you do Texan
it's upscale comedy
y'all?
along with like dumb.
Well, speaking of the state legislator Democrats in Texas, Illinois is providing refuge for these people. And folks, if you've looked at the maps in the state of Illinois, that's where I too would go if I wanted to learn how to screw the people of the state with the maps that you draw. We're going to cover this story throughout the course of the day. Jeanne Ives is going to be with us at 1 o'clock, right at the top of the hour, and we're going to talk to her about the gross irresponsibility of Illinois Democrats and their drawing of the maps. But then certainly as well, we're going to talk to her about the Texas Democrats and what J.B. Pritzker's role is in all of this. Remember, that guy wants to be president, but not after running for his third term of governor in the state of Illinois. What? No kings? Who? Where? When? Huh? Emperor.
No, thanks.
No?
None of that.
Yeah, emperors are big on giving you that choice. It doesn't seem like that's the case. He's definitely going to do his best to stay in power, but he wants that Oval Office. He wants it bad. All right, Ryan Schmelz is going to give us an update on Capitol Hill, that one in Washington, D.C., when we come back next. Did the president get his appointments through? Is there a plan? Is everybody playing nice? Folks, it's Congress. Ryan Schmelz next.
Day long, I can catch catfish from dusk till dawn. Make our own whiskey and our own smoke too. Ain't too many things these old boys.
Air Comfort Service, boy, guys, this is a separate note, but I just got my electric bill.
Oh.
I now have joined the what the heck is going on crowd.
Me too.
Whoa.
What the heck is going on?
We'll talk about that later. This is the time where you can't, I can't afford to have an air conditioning unit that isn't cooling the house the way it's supposed to, or ventilation that runs through the home that's leaking out cool air in the crevices in ventilation that's not sealed. Air Comfort Service is your friend right now. Please consider reaching out to them at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091 and talking to them about having a maintenance check done on your unit. They can check when they come out. They're going to check your heating and your air conditioning to make sure that both are functioning properly. But if you are running your AC right now and it's not doing the trick, you are going to pay for that what, tenfold? Holy smokes, folks. You need to make sure that everything is in good working order, but you want to make sure that you have people come out who are going to give you honest feedback and make sure that you are fully aware of what your options are. Air Comfort Service is there to guide you through that and make you comfortable with whatever propositions that they have to offer you to fix a problem, if you have one. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Family-focused, faith-filled, always on point. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Look, we've got some pending judges, we've got pending U.S. attorneys, ambassadors, division directors, assistant secretaries, undersecretaries. Got about 150 people, Larry, who were teed up out of committee on the Senate calendar, on the docket to be voted on, and who we need to confirm. Because if we don't get them confirmed, you know what happens. The deep state retains control. Now, it's one thing if this happens under a Democrat president. If a Democrat president doesn't get the Democrat nominees confirmed, Democrats still run the show because Democrats run the career civil servant ranks across the board. The deep state bureaucrats, you might say, they're overwhelmingly Democrat. But when a Republican's in power, these are real stakes, and we can't just leave town before taking care of these nominations.
But is that exactly what they did? That's Utah Senator Mike Lee talking about these appointments that haven't been approved yet by the Senate. And are they on recess now? Does that mean nothing is happening on Capitol Hill? Well, let's ask our friend Ryan Schmelz. He's the guy who knows. Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. Ryan, welcome back to the show.
Always good to be on, Annie. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Are you on recess right now? Are you out playing on the monkey bars, just not doing anything?
No comment. No comment.
Fair. So what does recess mean right now for Capitol Hill?
It means everyone can breathe and, we don't have to worry about people fighting and doing all that crazy stuff that happens on the Hill all the time. So it's a much-needed recess. But, of course, when August happens, Chad Perkin calls it the Ides of August. The weirdest news stories happen this month. But, you got some things like Nancy Mason now. She's running for governor of South Carolina today. You get a lot of campaign stuff. And, of course, there's going to be a ton of town halls that'll probably make some news here and there, too. But overall, it gets a little bit quieter on campus here.
So when Senator Mike Lee was talking there with Larry Kudlow on Fox Business, there's a lot of discussion that was happening last week about the need to get some of these nominations from the president's judicial nominees approved and through the process. What is the holdup here? What was the president? He got kind of fiery with some of his language this week, and I think he said that tell the Democrats to, in his words, go to hell if they're not going to participate. What was that all about?
Oh, yeah. So, the way that it's kind of been stalled out is that Republicans have to pretty much bring one person up at a time and go through an entire vote series, and they have to, go in and out of debate and in and out of legislative sessions. So all these procedural hurdles have to happen, and it ends up becoming a pretty slow process just to get one person confirmed. And Thune had decided he was going to keep them there as long as possible to get as many of them confirmed as possible. And eventually they tried to cut a deal with the Democrats to, kind of speed up the confirmation for some of these less controversial nominees, the ones that had bipartisan votes, the ones that were kind of going to be either unanimous or get the majority of the votes from both senators on the Republican and Democrat side. And Democrats in many ways wanted to secure certain funding guarantees or to rescind some funding cuts that had happened under the either DOJ or just the Trump administration in general. And the Republicans weren't going to budge on that. And that's what really riled the current president up, was that, he felt the Democrats were trying to, in many ways, extort the Republicans here. And so President Trump fired off some pretty harsh words for them on Truth Social over the weekend. And eventually they did decide to leave town for the August recess. But they did actually kind of accomplish one thing that stood out, which is that they got one of the first 3 appropriations bills passed. And I believe that's the first time the Senate's done that in a number of decades.
Yeah, well, so there is some progress there. I mean, is it truly what Senator Lee was saying is, the Democrats have such a firm control on the bureaucratic function of the government that if there is a slow walking of these types of approvals of these nominees, that they still kind of get things to go their way, that Republicans have to take a really aggressive stance against this in order for them to be able to utilize the majority that they do have. Otherwise, the status quo is the way the Democrats like it. Is recess? They're not going to be back until the end of the August recess. Can they get called back?
I guess they technically could get called back, but they're probably not going to until till September when they're scheduled to come back. But I think what Senator Lee is pointing to there is that you still have a lot of people who were probably hired underneath the Biden administration who, in many ways, are in these positions because President Trump hasn't been able to get his nominees confirmed. Now, a lot of the folks from the Biden administration did resign or left office, so it's been a lot of acting secretaries in the meantime. So it's there's a lot of ways to read it right now, but President Trump has gotten a good amount of his nominees confirmed. Just you have a lot of these maybe not as high-profile positions that are still out there that are just taking a very long time to do.
Hey, Ryan, this is Ryan. That's actually exactly what I was going to ask you is what's left? It doesn't seem like this is the biggest appointment. So I know people are really, kind of, if you're really plugged into politics, you're following this. But if it's not really consequential people, how much of an impact is this going to have?
Well, I think it gets to a point where it's so many people that it just is a problem, and you want to get these spots filled. And there are some really key ones that need to be filled still. I mean, President Trump has not filled his NASA administrator position. I don't even think he's nominated anybody for that one. Because remember that position fell through during the Elon Musk drama, and he still doesn't have an ambassador to the United Nations. Michael Waltz is still going through the process with that, but I don't even think he was ready to go to the floor yet. So that was kind of that probably wouldn't have been resolved even if they got most of these people through last week. But you have a lot of U.S. attorney positions, some judicial nominees as well. So it depends on how much value you put in these positions. But I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that the president would rather have his people there rather than somebody else's people.
Sure, and he was upset by it. Ryan, one other question. I saw reported that maybe there was some rules changes in the works here where they might be, after the recess, able to start confirming groups of nominations where they couldn't do that before? Is that accurate?
Yeah, so what happened with that was that, yes, there was temptation, I think a little bit of pressure on Leader Thune to ultimately go nuclear here and change the rules so that he would be able to confirm as many of these nominees as possible. But whenever you do that, there is always the fear that you are breaking a precedent that's going to not work out in your favor down the road. And you saw that happen with Harry Reid when he threw out the nuclear option to get one of President Obama's judicial nominees through, and eventually that ended up leading to President Trump confirming 3 Supreme Court justices with 50 votes. So Thune ultimately opted not to do that, but what the update we have is that they're going to consider doing that again when they come back in September if they can't reach a deal with the Democrats.
We're speaking with Ryan Schmelz, of course, the Fox News Radio Capitol Hill and White House correspondent. Please follow him on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. Last question before we let you go. I want to give you the opportunity to kind of give us the lay of the land right now. The Epstein files is a conversation that continues, certainly among our listeners. People are still interested in what's going on, and it's become a bit of a political football. It kind of feels like both sides definitely want things to be released, but it's like we want it to be released more. So who's asking for what right now? Who are the players in the Epstein files? Who's waiting on what? What can you tell us?
I mean, I would say the big thing to watch for with that right now is just to see what the Attorney General and the Department of Justice ultimately do with these grand jury documents, because Congress isn't going to be able to vote on anything until they come back. So it's kind of just a waiting game and seeing what the Department of Justice ultimately does when it comes to releasing the documents they've said they're going to release. And right now it sounds like they're going through redactions and making sure there's no sensitive victim information or addresses that are put in there. So you got thousands of pages to comb through that you've got to really make sure don't put anybody else at risk who's innocent in this case. So it seems like that's going to take some time. And that's where you see Republicans saying, give the president time, give the Department of Justice time, let them do this the right way. But for some people, that's not a good enough answer, and they want this released quicker for transparency's sake.
So, Ryan, just to be clear, are there Republicans calling? Are there any Republicans congressionally that are saying no, we don't want these files to be released?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think anybody's out there saying absolutely not. This is a done deal. Let's just ignore this now. I think most of the people who are defending President Trump are saying, hey, look, just let the Department of Justice do what they're supposed to do. Let them do this the right way and just be patient. It's going to get out there at some point.
Well, we appreciate you giving us the update on that. Ryan, I hope you have a wonderful August recess on the merry-go-round and the monkey bars, which is what we think that everybody's doing right now, even though we know, of course, that's not actually the case. We're always grateful for your insight. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, thank you, Annie. Have a good one.
You as well. Bye-bye. It's kind of crappy that it's August already.
Yeah, it is kind of crappy. It means that summer's... Why does August mean summer's almost over? It did not used to mean that when we were kids. We used to get into school later.
It's the locusts chirping in the golden hour of late summer that makes me still go, oh, back to school.
Really?
But my whole house goes back to school, and then I don't.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm kind of like...
I'm not. I hate it when they all go back to school.
Well, I do too. But I don't get the high of the countdown.
I don't either.
To be out like everybody else, but then you realize that your spouse is at home, taking care of business.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic.
It's the best. Summer's
and then
the
as
best.
the kids get a little bit older, it's a little bit less of a responsibility at home to okay, now they can actually help you. I think my kids want to go back to school so they can stop working all day.
Probably.
It's just all they think they do is clean. And I'm like, guys, don't make a mess.
Who's making the mess?
Don't make a mess. All right, let's take a quick break. More Annie Fry Show right around the corner. We're going to talk about this. Everybody's been discussing it. It is a national story now. There was a MAGA hat at a St. Louis City soccer game. Well, at least for a little bit until it was escorted out of the stadium. The YouTube poll for today, and I did peek at the results, and wow. You can go check them out as well after you vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? Yes or no? We'll be right back. So So STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, brand new facility there. Boy, do I recommend them for everything that you are considering, thinking of purchasing, asking questions, scratching your head, why shaking fists at the sky in the state of Illinois, because they kind of are a little wishy-washy on that whole Second Amendment thing. Well, not at STS Armory. You're going to be able to flex your Second Amendment rights as much as you legally possibly can with the help of Katie and Jesse at STS Armory. My son was just in there this past weekend getting his FOID card, which is the only place that I would send him to go through that process, because Katie and Jesse guided him through. Jesse was helping him. I've got a picture of it. I'm going to post that in a little bit on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. You need to make sure that you've got the right people helping you out, people who want to support you, guide you down the right path of certain. And if you're looking for a firearm purchase right now, they can help you. They can find it if you're looking for something very incredibly specific, or if you're just you have a need. You want to hunt this season, and maybe this year you're going to shotgun hunt instead of bow hunt, whatever it might be. You go to STS Armory. They're going to ask you the questions that are going to help put you in the purchase that is going to fit your needs. STS Armory is in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, brand new red, beautiful building. Also online at sts-armory.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Triton Exteriors. Not sure if you've noticed, but the storms seem to be especially bad this spring. If you had James Hardy Smart Siding, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It's not going to be damaged like in the 314-day storm. So we do roofing, siding, gutters, fences. We're always going to be the middle bid. We're never going to cut corners. We're never going to take advantage of you. Call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? Question of the day. Yes or no? It's the YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. And let us know why you think what you think. 1237. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube live chat poll: should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? Yes or no? The answer to this is the question is, should people be able to? Not do you recommend that they do? Before we get to the details of this specific question, is it different to wear a MAGA hat out and about post-election? In Donald Trump's second term of his presidency, is it different to wear it now than it was to wear it before? Like
just socially.
In 2024, before the election happened, you got a campaign going on. Is it different to show up in an apolitical place with political gear on now than it was when the campaign was still
yeah, it's saying something a little different. I think in 2024, you were being very bold. Now you are being a little braggadocious. So it's just saying.
Neither of which are prohibited in the First Amendment.
No. And in fact, if you're wearing one now, you probably were wearing one in 2024.
Yeah.
So the meaning of it has changed because the election has happened, but the hat is the same. It's probably literally the same hat as you had for maybe even 10 years now.
Unless you wore your other one out and you needed to get a new one. So this story is a national story now. This man who we're going to play some audio here a little bit later in the show because Mark Cox was one of the first people to have, if not the first person, to have this individual on his show last Friday. And very, very interesting to understand a little bit of the background of this story. Originally, he posts this video to his social media. This man was at a St. Louis City soccer game. Now, have you ever been to a St. Louis City soccer game?
Mm-hmm.
Have you, Brad?
Yeah, I've been to 2 of them.
Fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Ryan, you're a soccer family.
Yeah, we've become that. Yeah, the games are fun. I mean, we were playing soccer before City was here,
right?
And so we got to see the evolution of the stadium and the whole process of getting a team. It's been a good process.
So this is a little bit of this is a little bit of the video that made this become a national story. This guy was pretty smart to video this situation. Because if he doesn't video this and he's just telling a story, it does not get the types of legs that it has now.
No, I just want to make sure I just yeah, what's up? I'm Michael Weitzel. I'm being asked to leave by the police because of Donald Trump.
Hey, I'm a Donald Trumper.
You're a Trump fan?
I'm a MAGA. Yes,
yeah.
I am.
So I just want
all these coppers you got to deal with are MAGA, but they don't do not political. They don't want any kind of political.
Okay, so first of all, if you haven't seen this video yet, we're gonna go through it here a little bit, but I do have. Do you have? I have sympathy for this officer.
He's in a bad spot.
He reiterates over and over and over again, "I'm a Trump guy," and what he said right there to Michael is, they don't do political paraphernalia. They don't want political stuff in the stadium. Now I've never myself been to a City game. I have not made it a secret. I don't enjoy soccer. Now, I've been told that even if you don't enjoy soccer, that I will still enjoy a St. Louis City game. I have my doubts, but I also don't have the time in my schedule right now to I'm not bored. I'm not a bored person. I'm not looking for things to do. Nobody has come up to me and been like, here are great seats. You need to go experience this. It's free. You've got no reason to say no. That hasn't happened yet, so I haven't gone. But I do respect that St. Louis is an absolute soccer bonkers city. I'm just not in that group, but that's fine. I don't disrespect that. I am hearing reports from a lot of people that there are a lot of pride things that are present at these games. Do you guys have any experience with that? Because like I said, I don't want to be like, I'm just going to put this out here before you guys respond. This is a ball on a tee for a conservative news talk person right now. I should be enraged by this. Like all the rip and read, rip papers, throw them in the sky, shake my fists at the sky. That is the obvious path for me to go down here, but I'm just not that person in the sense that I think what St. Louis City is doing is so stupid in kicking this guy out because they have now made this a story that I guarantee you everybody in every boardroom that exists around St. Louis City is facepalming going, we have made this into a gigantic story, and now people are having to pick sides. But in fairness to the conversation and in acknowledgement that I'm not somebody who's sitting in these stands to you guys, are there political messages at the stadium?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's LGBTQ plus whatever flags that are being flown. Like you heard in that video, the band playing in the background, the fans chanting. That's a fan section behind one of the goals, and behind one of the goals, there's like a huge 7-8 foot flag on a gigantic pole being swung around, and it is the pride flag with the St. Louis City logo on it, or it might be the fleur-de-lis. I can't remember specifically, but it's the pride flag. It's flying. There was a game where they dropped the banner down, and the banner was an alien, and it was like, welcome here.
Like a green alien?
Yes, like a space alien, Martian alien.
Well, I think that's pretty awful.
Welcome here, as in everyone is welcome here, is the point.
Yeah.
Who and the fans are doing that, or the stadium is doing that?
Well, it's fans in the stadium, but the fan section, those flags are approved.
But my point or my question, I don't have a point because I'm like asking genuine questions, is that fans are sharing certainly cultural messages.
For sure.
I can't have an honest question with somebody or honest conversation with somebody who would tell me that LGBTQ stuff, you can't tell me that that's not also political. I don't think it's political for everybody who shares it, but I certainly can't. I'm not going to entertain the idea that a pride flag doesn't also have political connotations in perception. And I also would say the same thing, that a MAGA hat, folks, if you wear a red hat and it doesn't have anything MAGA on it, people are like, oh, they had a red hat. Like it's if you can't just go wear a red hat without dog whistling people who are triggered by red hats. That's a cultural thing too. So is a MAGA hat political? Of course it is. Is it cultural? Of course it is. Is a pride flag cultural? Of course it is. Is it political? Of course it is. Why cannot we as a society normalize the idea that you are going to be in the presence of people who don't think the way you do, and it doesn't have to ruin your day. Everything that I hear about St. Louis City games is that they are super fun to go to because people keep trying to persuade me. Oh, you should go. You'd love it. I know you don't like soccer, but you'd love it. Blah, blah, blah. If it's that fun, then how is it so quickly ruined by a guy wearing a red hat? And I haven't heard until this situation unfolded that there were pride things all over the place. And I'm surrounded by a lot of conservatives. And I'm surrounded by a lot of conservatives who also like soccer. I haven't had any of them come up to me and be like, I am so upset about the pride flags at the St. Louis City games. They just move on with the soccer game. They're not obsessed with the present. They're not watching the fans in the what'd you call it? The fan section?
The fan section.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't the whole stadium the
St.
fan section?
Luligans?
There's an area where you can wave a lot of big flags.
Yeah.
And that's what he's
dress up and chant.
Yeah.
And
I don't know anybody who's going to St. Louis City games and pivoting with their arms crossed, and they just, keep doing the, white lady foot stomp. And going like this. Shift. Waiting for someone to go, is something wrong? I just don't understand why those pride flags are there. Now, is that stuff happening? Probably. There are probably people doing that. But it hasn't materialized into a national story because one dude wears a MAGA hat and everybody loses their minds. Meanwhile, you've got pride flags going over there. What, half the people there are like, cool, that's awesome, fly your flag, literally. And the other half are like, let me just play soccer. Let me just watch soccer. The fact that the St. Louis City, guys, please, don't pick a side. I'm not for certainly any sort of physical intervention on the fans' part, but if you're going to wear a MAGA hat to a St. Louis City game and someone calls you a bad name, you're kind of asking for it because you're going into a place where people are going to disagree with you and you're trying to ask for feedback on it. But I guarantee you're going to get 10-1 fist bumps and, hey man, like your hat. You're going to get that, but you can't wear that in there and expect that. You can't let your day be ruined by the one. But he should absolutely be wearing his hat there if he wants to be able to wear his hat there. You just get what comes to you. Why is it St. Louis City? Why are they policing the butthurt feelings of those fans that are sitting around there who see a red hat and can't handle it? All I think about with soccer is the floppers. The people who, all I think about, we now have got floppers who have come from the field, and now they're in the stands, and the MAGA hat guy walks by them carrying his 2 beers and his popcorn under his arm, and then the guy 4 seats down goes, oh, and he falls onto the floor, and he's rolling around. He's like, I'm hurt, and everyone's like, oh yeah, we know you are. And I don't even know what the athletic application is here because I don't understand soccer. Cart that guy off. Go rub his shoulders. I don't give a crap about people's feelings. And if we would stop worrying about managing everybody's feelings, because I think the St. Louis City thought that they were doing the right thing here. But I'm here to tell you, I don't think you did. I think you need a change of perspective. And we need to understand societally that people are going to have their feelings hurt, and it is not our responsibility to constantly make sure that everybody feels okay, because in doing that, you make sure that nobody feels okay. Fly the pride flag on this end of the field. Wear your MAGA hat in Section 104. I don't know what the section numbers are. Just whatever. Be a libertarian about this. I wonder if St. Louis City would do it differently if they had the opportunity to. I think they would.
I do too.
Let's get to it. I want more of your thoughts on this because I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't know soccer. Did I get the flopping part right, though?
Yes.
Thank you.
Spot on.
That's the only thing. There's soccer and LeBron James. We'll be right back. Infinite-vitality.com. Folks, people are flocking to Infinite Vitality in Glen Carbon. Just get started with a phone call. If Glen Carbon is not near where you live right now, I totally understand that. But I am going to tell you right now that if you've been looking for people you can trust, that Infinite Vitality is going to be worth the drive and the commitment. I'm doing hormone replacement therapy with them. I'm also doing a weight loss regimen with them. They have the peptides that you've been looking for, but they also have the guidance, the great people, the access to real measured statistics and information about you, specifically you. When you go in there, you're getting serviced for you, not because of what I said or who I am. It's tailored to you so that you can reach your maximum success. And yes, it includes weight loss. Consistently, patients are losing 8+ pounds a month. I am in that same boat. I have tracked right there at about that 8 pounds. It's normalized. It's something that is easy to maintain, and they're going to help you through the whole process. Feel confident about the results. If you're looking for a great team to help manage you and your weight loss, and you've been looking for a place to get those peptides, I want you to call Infinite Vitality, mention my name, and save $50 towards your weight loss services. 618-486-1888, 618-486-1888. Mention Annie, infinite-vitality.com.
Mark Cox doesn't fake it. He's lived it here in St. Louis. Pro-freedom, pro-family, pro-truth. If it matters to Missouri, it matters to Mark. Mark Cox, mornings on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us, and we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
All the stories you missed from this weekend, every single one of them.
And it's going to take 4 minutes.
Yep, 4 minutes. Here we go. Get ready. This is a wild ride.
In the wilderness.
In the wilderness. All right, Ryan Schmelz mentioned it, but Nancy Mace, the congresswoman from South Carolina, has announced her intention to run for governor of South Carolina.
Scale 0 to 10. How much do you like Nancy Mace?
5.
Brad?
I'm about a 4.
I'm less than that.
Less than 4.
I think she's a distraction.
I think some of the things she does are definitely a distraction. Other times I'm like, I kind of like what you just said there. So just really middle of the road. I kind of popcorn it with her and just wait and see what happens. You think she's going to win this? She seems like she's the front runner.
I don't know who else is running.
Alan Wilson.
Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, then.
And she's taking a lot of shots at Alan Wilson.
Is that a Republican?
Yes. Attorney General Alan Wilson and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette are both in the race. But to me, Nancy Mace is the bigger name.
Can a Democrat win that?
I don't think so in South Carolina.
So you win the primary, you win the thing?
I think so.
Kind of like Missouri.
I think so. So Nancy Mace, possibly the next governor of South Carolina. Vivek Ramaswamy, possibly the next governor of Ohio. Big names. Next story is that a lightning mega flash has been recorded. It is the longest stretch of lightning ever, and it started in Kansas City.
And went to where?
Eastern Texas.
Wow.
515 miles long.
I'm calling bullcrap on that. Because if they're wrong, how do we know? It's like, you can't prove that wrong. They can make that stuff up and everybody goes, oh. This is like when a fast food restaurant's like, we're putting marshmallows on our cheeseburgers. And we're all like, oh, Burgers McChuck is putting marshmallows on their cheeseburgers. You got it. And then everybody goes because we've been talking about Burgers McChuck. But I don't know what the lightning industry, Big Lightning, gets out of this.
Well, you did kind of call it. But let me jump to this next story real quick.
I can't imagine what you're about to say.
Burgers McChuck adding marshmallows to their cheeseburgers.
Oh, see? And I jumped the shark on that one.
You did. And I even played this whip sound effect. It didn't even matter.
Okay.
The Mega Flash stretched 515 miles long. Here's why I think you can trust it. This happened in 2017. And it took them this long to verify.
To measure it?
Yeah.
They're using
They had to go
just
up
a
in
regular
plane.
standard ruler.
They went with a really long
Get
tape
halfway
measure.
through, and they're like, you didn't hold the spot. We got to start from the beginning.
They had a megaphone. You still over there in Kansas City? Yeah. Where are you at? Middle Oklahoma. Keep going.
Just shouting at each other. Hey.
The previous record was 477 miles across the southern United States into
Child's play.
That's what I thought. Into the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. Thanks for this stupid CBS. I guess back then it was Gulf of Mexico. And the American Meteorological Society says, yes, this absolutely did break the record. Thank you, Kansas City.
This is huge news.
Hey, I mean, it's just cool.
This is like world-altering
I know.
perspective.
I know.
Thank you.
Next story, crazy out of Burgers McChuck. I was going to go back to that well, but I don't think so. George Lopez has been blocked by the LA Dodgers on all their socials because he keeps criticizing them for not speaking out against ICE in LA.
So the Dodgers are doing what the St. Louis City opted not to do, and they're just saying, we out.
This is, yeah, they're saying,
and then
stop.
At
We're
the
not getting
wrath
involved.
of George Lopez. I wonder who St. Louis's George Lopez is.
Cedric the Entertainer. He's not involved in this story. I don't mean to mix this up. I don't mean to mix this up at all.
We don't know that about him.
No, George Lopez is really upset about it, too, and doing interviews about how he's been blocked by the Dodgers for criticizing them for not being woke and outspoken enough. They've chosen to stay out of it.
That's it. I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm not a Dodgers fan. We'll be right back.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
TheDinamoreGroup.com. Buying and selling real estate is a complicated business, and it's definitely one where you want the help of people who are experts in that industry. The market is silly right now. Everyone's sitting on the edge of their seat with waiting for rates to come down, and I think a lot of people think that with a potential rate lowering in September that the market is going to just go white hot. Please, 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 if you're even considering listing your home in the next 2, 5, 6 months, whatever it might be, year, please start the conversation with the Dittamore Group right now so that if those rates do drop and people are flooding the market, you got buyers who want to get in and relocate, that you've already had these conversations because they're going to be flooded. The realty agencies are going to be flooded, and you want to make sure that you're the priority of the best in the business, and that's the Dittamore Group. Reach out to Tammy Dittamore and her amazing team by calling 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. TheDittamoreGroup.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Watch the vote. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The Texas House meets in 2 hours, but there will not be any votes on anything, including new congressional districts with dozens of Democrats out of state.
Texas State House Democrats fled to Chicago, New York, and Boston over the effort by Republicans to redraw the congressional map. This usually happens after the new census data comes out at the turn of each decade. Democrats say the new map is racist, but Governor Greg Abbott tells Fox News it's based on politics. For example, 2 of the seats that would be impacted have Democratic representatives, but were won by President Trump last year.
We have the authority legally under redistricting law to draw districts that align with the voter preferences of the voters of the state of Texas.
Abbott said Democrats who fled could forfeit their offices for denying Republicans a needed quorum to vote. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
President Trump threatens India with what he calls substantial tariffs for buying Russian oil. India's foreign ministry says it's necessary to ensure predictable and affordable consumer energy costs. A top U.S. diplomat may be heading to Moscow ahead of the president's deadline for a Russia-Ukraine ceasefire.
White House Special Envoy Steve Witkoff may travel to Russia Wednesday or Thursday, President Trump says, though prospects for a ceasefire in Ukraine have not improved.
We stopped a lot of wars. This is the one we seem to be, this should be the easiest to stop, and it's not.
President Trump has threatened to impose sanctions and potential secondary tariffs on Russian trading partners if Moscow does not agree to a ceasefire by the end of this week. Last week, President Trump ordered a pair of nuclear submarines repositioned in response to threats on social media from Russia's former president, Dmitry Medvedev. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
In Los Angeles, 2 people are killed, 6 wounded in a shooting at a techno music festival after party. No word on any arrests or a possible motive. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our early August weather's still easy to take, but temperatures will be getting back to that summer feel going through the week. A mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon, 83, partly cloudy, 67 for the low. Tuesday, partly sunny, 86 in the afternoon. Wednesday, partly sunny, 88. 90 to 91 on Thursday, 93 on Friday. And, of course, we're going to start to feel that humidity coming back. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new air conditioner installed this summer, call a company you can trust to install your AC properly. That will get your home cool and comfortable fast. For a free estimate on a new air conditioner, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, let me be clear. We passed a map in Illinois that follows the Constitution, and that is not what Governor Abbott is trying to do in Texas. We believe that the people of Texas deserve to have fair representation and not to have the game changed in the middle of the decade. That's right. There already is litigation about the original map that they put in place. Now they want to change it again. That, no doubt, will end up being litigated too. But let me be clear that they are attempting to cheat. And, you know, I think we all know Donald Trump is a cheater.
Yeah. Right.
So is the Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton. In so many ways. And we here in Illinois believe that we're, what is 2025? We've had elections now for, the 5 years that this map has been in place. We want to continue to have those fair elections. And we're proud of the fact that Democrats do better than Republicans in those districts where they're hyper-competitive, frankly, and we won in virtually every one of those districts that was competitive.
Well, Governor J.B. Pritzker swooping in to save the day for those Texas Democrats who needed a safe place, a safe space to go, a sanctuary, you might say, from their own constituents in the state of Texas. They're in the state legislature. You've got, I think it was like 50 Democrats fleeing the state, trying to block a quorum from being formed to give the Democrats the opportunity to debate on the people's floor in the state of Texas, in the legislature there, whether or not these new maps were going to be workable or not. We're going to get here with Jeanne Ives in a minute. Brad, you let me know when we're ready. Are we ready with her? No, we're not. Okay, we're connecting with her. We're going to talk to her about this because J.B. Pritzker, my understanding is that they were meeting in DuPage County. And that's just kind of a middle finger to a lot of people in DuPage County who have known a red county that has then since changed to blue. There is a very small group of people in this country who are looking at this Texas story the way, Ryan, you and I, and the people listening to us right now. I understand this is not what everybody cares about, but it's what I care about and what I think a lot of you listening care about. This is particularly offensive.
Yes. It's really amazing because it's such a bad decision. If, like you said, though, most of America probably not paying attention to this, but if you're in politics or you're even interested in politics, this is probably breaking through. And it's a pretty big story, especially with the drama going on with Governor Abbott. You got to be back by 3:00 today.
For Texas Democrats to say we're not going to do our job, we're going to Illinois.
Of all places.
Because they're fighting for fair maps.
I mean, you could have gone. What was Sarah Huckabee Sanders gonna bar you from the state if you went there? Like, it's not that they could kick you out. You just have to be not in Texas. But they chose Illinois, of all places, to say we just want fair maps. It's the worst PR decision they could possibly make in this news story.
Okay, well, the first person I thought of when I was hearing they were going to DuPage County, I'm like, I need to check on my friend Jeanne Ives, because if anybody knows what is going on here, what Governor Pritzker is capable of, and all of that, it's definitely my friend Jeanne Ives, and we're bringing her on to the Annie Fry Show here right now. Jeanne, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for giving us some light on what's going on. Just give us your understanding there from DuPage County, what these Texas Democrats are doing under the very welcoming wing of our Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Well, I mean, we know what they're doing. They're actually doing a political stunt, because I was there at the press conference last night. I was very curious about this because It was literally just a few miles from my own home. And so I went there, and then I started looking at the map, and they couldn't have picked a worse spot to come when they're fighting gerrymandering, because we were in the 8th district. Across the street was the 3rd district. Less than a mile away was the 6th congressional district of Illinois. And if you traveled less than a mile north, you went through the 8th and hit the 3rd district again. So terrible optics if you really understood the gerrymandering in the state of Illinois. But they came off the bus, about 20, I counted, about 22 came off the bus, another 5 arrived by car. They set up in this press conference in DuPage County. And I think it's because Pritzker wants to put a further stakes down in DuPage County. He has gerrymandered the district incredibly. In DuPage County, population 920,000, which should have about 1.25 congressional representatives. There are 5 congressional districts in just that county that reach into it. So, I mean, if people understood the numbers behind this, I think that they would know that Pritzker, who has, according to 538, signed the worst Democratic gerrymander in the country. So this is, I mean, he may call Trump a cheater, but he is a liar.
Yeah, it would certainly take one to know one if Donald Trump is, in fact, what he accuses him of. You know, I said this last week, Jeannie, and I want to bring it a little bit into more of a narrow focus with your expertise here in the state of Illinois, because you're plugged in with the state legislature all across the state. You were one of the biggest movers and shakers in the Republican Party in the state of Illinois. But I was accusing Hillary Clinton of being the, I guess, de facto leader of the Democrat Party, because she's the last person who actually, you know, ran for office getting the mantle from Barack Obama, who I say was actually kind of honest with us. He said he wanted hope and change. It was no real policy. It was an idea, and people were up for that at the time. But I haven't seen a Democrat run on abject truth in the lifetime that I've been paying this close attention to politics. That there is a constant effort, a man behind the curtain who's pulling all the levers and trying to make all the smoke and mirrors happen to make voters feel a certain way. And as soon as the truth gets revealed, everyone's like, what's going on? And J.B. Pritzker is trying to be masterful at that. I would argue that bringing those Texas Democrats to the state of Illinois is 100% about J.B. Pritzker. I don't think it's going to help the Texas Democrats at all.
Well, no, the fact that he showed up in DuPage County for a press conference like this, you know, all it was media there. There was nobody else there. This was not his Democrat constituency really there. It was hordes of media. In fact, the Houston Chronicle was there. I believe the Texas Tribune flew somebody out. The Washington Post guy who I was standing next to was from Wisconsin. So this was more about him. So he put all of his press people together to highlight himself, not necessarily the Texas delegation, but J.B. Pritzker. This was him grandstanding, him applauding these folks. He's giving sanctuary to Texas Democrats, finding them homes to stay in when he can't help the homeless in the state of Illinois. And so, again, they took the opportunity, both Jean Wu, the head of the Texas delegation, and Pritzker, to essentially bash Trump. And have you picked up on it? Because this will be their next protest headliner. It is going to be the Trump Texas takeover. Trump Texas takeover. All the alliteration is there. This will be the protest march that you'll find in Chicago and elsewhere. And, you know, this is all grandstanding on their part.
Yeah, it is. And J.B. Pritzker knows exactly what he's doing. He might dawdle a little bit running for governor again in the state of Illinois because he can buy that seat for the most part. Yeah. But he wants to be the president of the United States. And so he's trying to reach into Texas. And I mean, I think the grossest part about it is it's probably for donations for J.B. Pritzker. I don't think he's actually going to be helping Texas. He's not going to overcome Governor Abbott, Ken Paxton in the state of Texas. He's not going to overcome the people of Texas. That's not really the way Texans roll. And in the meantime, he's leaving behind so many Illinoisans. You could speak to this in specific numbers, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. The way the state of Illinois, by the numbers, not by the results of the election, because of the gerrymandering, the way Illinois has shifted across the board, even though, 65% of the population is in Cook County, Illinois is shifting a little bit closer towards purple, way more than people would know, because of the districts that have been drawn by this over control by the Democrat Party in the state of Illinois. Where is Illinois headed right now, and have they been headed under Governor Pritzker's governorship?
Well, it's great because what Trump has been able to do is he's been messaging directly to the people, and the people feel like he's speaking with authenticity because they understand what he says is what they know is happening in their lives. And the Democrats are doing nothing but trying to confuse folks and lie about that. But they have gerrymandered the districts to their advantage, where it's almost impossible to win in some of these districts. But Illinois, for its most part, just like Texas picked up Hispanics, which is why they're looking at redrawing districts to make them more competitive, because guess what? When you have political power, that's what you do. Illinois is moving more purple, and so the only way that they're working to change, to help the Democrat side, is to confuse people and to lie about them and say, well, they're going to take away your Medicaid. You're going to have higher taxes to bail out, the billionaire class. And none of that is actually true. It's the opposite is true. What we're doing is we're adding accountability. Now, it is interesting when you look at these gerrymandered districts, and just for a quick comparison here, in the Texas House, the Democrats are in the minority, but they still hold 41% of the seats. And congressionally, they hold 34% of the seats. In Illinois, where the Republicans are in the minority, we hold 34% House seats, but only 18% of the congressional seats. So again, this illustrates that Illinois is far more gerrymandered than Texas. And I think when the truth comes out and people are presented with it, they will accept the truth. And that's what bothers Pritzker. He knows people are paying attention. He knows we're under a cultural revolution. He knows the trans issue is going away. He knows that they're extreme on abortion. He knows that the tax is that we're the highest taxed property taxes in the nation now. He knows that he can't lie to the people anymore because we have alternative media that folks are listening to, and Trump is speaking truth to power, and they like that.
Yes, amen. We're speaking with Jeanne Ives right now, and when we talk about alternative media, I want to encourage you to check out her podcast, The Real Story. You can also follow her on Facebook at facebook.com/Jeanne Ives. Jeanne challenged, as I mentioned before we got into the segment, Bruce Rauner in the primary, and you did a hell of a job considering how much money Bruce Rauner spent against you. Ultimately, J.B. Pritzker wiped the floor with Bruce Rauner in that 2018 election, and here we are still in 2025.
Right.
An opportunity, since I have you on the phone, you and I have talked about the congressional district that is the 13th district. That's the district that I'm in. It's this little finger that goes through all the college towns from where, almost where I am right now. I'm standing in St. Louis, but right across the river, all the way snaked up through Champaign, Urbana. I've heard people say they're not 100% sure you can drive the whole district without having to leave the district to get to the other side of the district. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but it's obnoxious. And Illinois is being used as a national indication of how gerrymandering can really, truly effectively be done because of the districts like ours right here across the river in Illinois. Is there hope for the state of Illinois in this upcoming election? Got to have good candidates, have to have challengers to the Democrats. How do you move forward, Jeanne, looking at the next election and focusing your attention where we can have some wins?
Well, I mean, honestly, the gerrymandered congressional districts do make it difficult to pick up some of these seats, although we have some cases where there's an opportunity. I think our best opportunity is to hit Pritzker and hit him really hard, because his record is so atrocious that there's multiple messaging points to multiple different constituencies. If you're a Black, you have not been served well by Pritzker. If you work in manufacturing, you have not been served well by Pritzker. If you just are regular residents, you've seen your electric bill skyrocket. These are all Pritzker's policies. At the same time, you've had higher taxes. So he's been so terrible on every policy issue that I think that we really need to focus in on the state legislative races and with that, the governorship. I think those are our best bets to win, quite frankly. And I'm going to encourage people to really get involved in the state legislative race to flip those, because the records, I mean, again, we're suffering here in the state of Illinois under these Democrat policies. And I think that if everybody can do their part with connecting with their network, we have an opportunity.
Jeanne Ives with us right now. Last question before I let you go. I don't need names unless you have some that you're really eager to throw out there. But in the conversation of Republicans who would challenge J.B. Pritzker, do you have any hopeful candidates? People who are considering, maybe haven't announced yet, maybe people who have, that you're like, I think maybe possibly we could do this?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to be 100% behind Ted Dabrowski when he announced for governorship. I expect him to do that shortly. and he can go 5 levels deep on policy, and he's a true conservative, and he's got the background to make this happen. So Ted, I'm sure he is planning on an announcement soon, and I will be backing him 100%.
I want to encourage folks to follow Jeanne Ives on her Facebook page, host of The Real Story. Also check out Breakthrough Ideas as well on Facebook. Jeanne, I would, especially going into this, it's a midterm for everyone else. It's a huge deal for the state of Illinois. I'm going to connect with you as much as possible. You know, I've been able to talk through your time in the state legislature before your governor run. You've always been brave and bold, and I'm so glad to be a friend of yours and have you on the show. So please answer Brad's text messages and calls when he asks you to come back. You're a great source of information for us here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yep. I appreciate you as well, Jeanne. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. Jeanne Ives, she is the host of The Real Story. Like I said, she is someone who served in the state legislature. She was fiery. She advocated for the Illinois taxpayer with fierce common sense, something that when I saw it, I was like, holy crap, I didn't know you could say that in Springfield. And Jeanne certainly did. I've been a huge supporter of hers for quite a long time, and excited to hear. Ted Dabrowski is somebody who we've had on this show many times over the course of the years. Been involved, I think, with Illinois Policy Institute, maybe Wire Points, over the course of time. But boy, if you want to talk to, if I've heard several, I have my thoughts of who I'd like to see run for governor. I don't know if they actually are. I keep sending texts and they're not getting answered, which to me is kind of an answer, because other texts I send get answered. I have hope for the state of Illinois. I'm not going to give it up. When I do give it up, you'll be the first to know right here on this show. But stick to policy, stick to the Illinois taxpayer, and this is winnable in 2026. All those statewide folks, there is not a single Republican in statewide office in the state of Illinois. There is a supermajority of Democrats in the General Assembly in both the state House and the state Senate. Time to put our nose to the grindstone and get to work in ways where it can actually be measurable. I'm going to just put this out here right now. If you're listening to the show and you're in the state of Illinois, I don't care where you are. If you've ever thought about running for office, ever, or you want to get involved in somehow, but if you've ever thought about running for office, please contact me on the Facebook page. Just send me a private message. It will be between us. I'm the one who manages all that. So when you send messages to the Annie Fry Show Facebook page, it comes to me. Great to talk to Jeanne Ives there. We're going to speak with Cuong Do, the president and chief executive officer of Pharma. And I want you to understand that when we talk to him in the future, here in about 10 minutes, we're going to talk about inflammation. This is all of these things coming out of the MAGA movement. These are all things that I'm like super interested in because I don't know much about it. A lot of times they'll have guests on and I know a lot about what we're talking about. Boy, do I want to learn what MAGA is trying to teach us. I've got my ears wide open. I hope you will too at 1:30. When we come back, let's touch base back again on the YouTube poll. Should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? We'll be right back.
Blue eyes and auburn hair, sitting looking pretty by the fire in a lawn chair. New to town and new to me, her ruby red.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloored.com. Flooring shopping is made simple with smart people, with people who value your hard-earned money like you do. You want quality products. You don't want to sacrifice quality for value. You're not looking for cheap. You're looking for value. There's a huge difference, and you know that, and so does Michael's Flooring Outlet. They carry the top products that you are probably looking for if you're interested in carpet in your home. That Mohawk Smart Strand carpet, great pad that you can put underneath it, and it's going to feel so luxurious in your home. It's going to look beautiful, and it's going to have the durability that you feel comfortable investing in that home of yours. When you reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com, you can request an estimate, an in-home estimate if you so choose. You can also check out the products that they have available. You can also see the locations where you can go in-store to shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. We are very grateful for our partnership here with Michael's Flooring Outlet. It's been a long-time partnership, and we love sending good people, you, to good people like them at Michael's Flooring Outlet. Start your shopping at igotfloored.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
There's been a lot of talk about tariffs, how it's going to do this and it's going to destroy the economy. Prices are going to go up. Depending where you get your news from or your information from, it's going to make everything unaffordable and so on and so forth. Tariffs have absolutely zero effect on the heating and cooling equipment that we purchase. So don't be misled and fooled that if you're told that you have to buy something now because of tariffs, call me. That's the nicest thing I can say. Call me for a second opinion. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. There's only one. If you do not dial this number, it will be the wrong number. It is area code 314-293-2600. Again, easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the computer, bartinman.com. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
All right, so we're talking. You get to turn me down or the music down? All right, Gwen, take it away. Woo!
Why don't you just, you just sing.
How about you do the Gwen Stefani thing?
Okay, you start talking.
I thought I was having a stroke. I'm not gonna lie. That actually freaked me out a little bit because I still from having laryngitis last week. Last week I couldn't talk, but I felt fine. This weekend I started to feel crappy, but got my voice back. So I assume by about midweek I'll probably be back to normal. Normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I was having kind of a head thing going on there. For a second I was talking and I'm like, I've disappeared.
I'm not even sure what you're referring to. Everything sounded fine to me. So
thank you for the vote of confidence in my mental decline. I know you're really big into it. All right, let's talk. Let's listen to big credit to Mark Cox. Last Friday had on the MAGA hat guy at the St. Louis City game, Mike Weitzel, went to a St. Louis City game, wore a MAGA hat. I got tweets about this weekend. Like, nobody's covering this. The Mark Cox show was on it pretty much immediately. Had MAGA hat guy Mike on their show. I'll just play a little clip from the Mark Cox morning show.
I know that there have been no Kings shirts in the stadium before. I think basically their policy is, well, we have these rules on the books, but we're only going to enforce them when somebody takes the time to write us a complaint. And oddly enough, it seems that those complaints seem to come in more heavily in one direction, I would say.
So, I mean, I would even say our YouTube poll today, should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums, yes or no? I would even say that the fact that any facility St. Louis City included and not excluded, if they are going to allow political messages, which the thing that I continue to hear from people who do attend these games is that there's a lot of pride stuff there. I do consider that to be a political message. If one side of the political aisle considers it to be a political message, the other side doesn't get to go, no, it's not. It is. But, no kings, that's a political message as well. If you're going to allow those things to happen, I am going to be more inclined, especially with my silly, stubborn attitude, to be like, I guess I'll just have to wear my MAGA hat and see, like, as a way to say, how about you get rid of it all? My biggest concern here is not the MAGA concern, it's the consistency concern. And entities like St. Louis City or any entity that is begging the public to buy tickets and come in and partake in the product that they are putting out there, you have to be objective about how you police this stuff. And if you're not going to be objective about it, you're going to have a scandal or a crisis of this sort on your hands. If all of those messages are present at the St. Louis City games, I'm more thinking like, I'm more thinking like if it were my group, I'd be like, don't wear the MAGA hat. Like, we're just inviting. We want to go to the soccer game. If you wear that, it's going to become not about soccer. But if you're wearing that in response to other people who are shouting these messages all the time and they're going to the soccer game and getting away with that, I'm kind of like, wear the hat. Isn't it? Is it for you as much about consistency as it is for me?
Yeah, it's entirely about consistency because it's such a murky position for St. Louis soccer to take, or City SC, because there's so much gray area. You either say, look, nobody, any political messages, it's still going to get through, which would be tough to enforce, or all political messages as long as they're not derogatory or something like that. You have to take a position and then stick with it for everybody because you're trying to appeal to everybody. It's just a bad message to make.
Well, we want to continue to get your thoughts on this. Should people be able to wear these hats in sports stadiums? Yes or no? Anti-Fry YouTube channel. When we come back, Cuong Do joins us, and we are going to talk about inflammation and how it is affecting your life and maybe how we haven't been steered in a different direction to focus on this and to remedy it. Cuong Do next. Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan, and I can't think of a better time right now to call or text Stewie, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. I was talking about this a little bit earlier in the show with when it comes to like getting a realtor and all of that, but if these rates drop, if the Fed ends up dropping rates naturally downstream, that affects mortgage rates one way or the other. You want to be ready to go. You want to have that conversation about what you might want to do before you end up having to pull the trigger to say, okay, lock it in. And if you're thinking about purchasing a home and you want to know what your buying power is and all of that, get a hold of Stewie right now because you're going to want the bagel loan, whether it be for a new mortgage or for a mortgage refinance or for a cash out mortgage refinance. When you reach out to Stewie at 314-324-4440, you're going to be put into a position where when the rate is right for you, Stewie's going to be on top of it. You're going to get the bagel loan, which means no dollars in closing costs. They don't exist. It's the smartest mortgage situation in the game, and it's only at Stewart's American Mortgage when you're looking for the bagel loan. You can Google the bagel loan at MLS number 226715.
In the 70s, while still putting up Hall of Fame numbers, local baseball legend Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly, Heating and Air Conditioning.
And our area's never been the same. This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, and Electrical.
So from now on, when you need an electrical solution or fix at your home, get it done fast, good, by a Hall of Fame company that's got it going on.
JerryKelly.com. You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The YouTube live chat poll today, we're asking you the question, should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? Yes or no? Let us know what you think about this topic by clicking or typing in Annie Fry and clicking on today's date on YouTube. It is 1:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Cutting through the spin. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Alzheimer's is a kind of dementia. Alzheimer's is a specific disease that involves the accumulation of proteins such as amyloid and tau, which cause degeneration of the brain. It is in the general category of dementia being a cognitive disorder that is associated with loss of independence. But there are other causes of dementia, including Parkinson's, Lewy body, vascular, water on the brain, thyroid disorders. Many things cause dementia. Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia, which tends to be progressive and degenerative over time with loss of independence as it progresses.
Well, you were just listening there to Dr. Marwan Saba talking about Alzheimer's, certainly something that many of you listening right now, you're familiar with it. We have loved ones who have suffered from various forms of dementia. And in this kind of new way of looking at health in our lives, I think a lot of people are very open to what people who are active in medicine have to say about the causes of these things. On recommendation from Dr. Siegel, he said, you need to get Cuong Do on your show to talk about this. And we are so pleased to be able to have that conversation today. Cuong Do joins us right now, the president and chief executive officer of BioV. Cuong, thank you for being with us today. Such an honor to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be on.
Of course. I want to give you the opportunity to talk about dementia, how we understand it, certainly as loved ones of those who have experienced it. What kind of progress is being made right now in the search for the causes and potentially relief or solutions to this very, very impactful disease that affects so many lives?
You know, I've been doing this in Alzheimer's since the late 80s. And I think the reality is there's been very little progress over those decades because the entire field has really looked at amyloid and tau. And I think the reality is those are symptoms of what's really going on. In recent years, researchers have gotten to understand that amyloid plaques and tau tangles are not the cause of the dementia that's going on, but they're really side effects almost of what's really going on. And we at BioV believe what's really driving this is inflammation. Inflammation is the starting point for many things that go wrong in the body. And that's really what's happening with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and so forth.
Cuong Do speaking with us right now with BioV. I've heard the word inflammation so much. Probably, I mean, it might be confined in the last 6 months. Of course, there's a political Make America Healthy Again movement going on, but there's a lot of talk about the things that are causing our bodies, the actual sources of these experiences, these symptoms that we're having, and trying to get to the source rather than what I hear a lot of what has been, the way it's been looked at before is like, how do we just medicate those symptoms? I'm listening to you say that maybe you're getting more towards the source of it. Tell me more about inflammation and how it is related to dementia.
First of all, we need to recognize that the inflammation is a natural part of how the body defends itself. So when we have an infection, for example, different immune cells kick in to try to fight off the infection. But as the immune cells work, they create inflammation by releasing various cytokines. But when the infection has been warded off, fended off, the immune cells now settle down, the inflammation disappears. The problem that we face is that we put ourselves into situations where the body is exposed to prolonged period of times to various toxins. Our diet is not great. We don't exercise. Obesity is a real problem. So what happens is that we're creating a situation that's known as chronic low-grade inflammation, where the body is always trying to fight off something. And as a result, it is constantly releasing the cytokines, the chemicals, the biochemicals that's causing inflammation. And this, and what I'm talking about, specifically known as tumor necrosis factor alpha, or TNF alpha. TNF alpha is considered to be the master regulator of inflammation. When you have TNF alpha present, it then starts a whole cascade of downstream stuff that happens that leads to negative consequences for our body. So that's what really is going on, is chronic low-grade inflammation driven by us doing things that frankly do not treat our body very well.
Cuong Do speaking with us right now, the president and chief executive of BioV. Go to biovpharma.com to learn more about it. Cuong, so we're talking about inflammation throughout the entire part of the body and neural inflammation affecting those symptoms and experiences that people might have downstream with dementia. Is it right to assume that, you know, there are symptoms that we might have way before dementia finally sets in with this inflammation? Are there symptoms that I might at 41 begin to experience if I'm poisoning my body with the toxins that you talk about, which a lot of people are trying to do the right things, Cuong, and you're just ear to the ground, trying to do what's right, and then in 2 years you're like, oh, we weren't supposed to be eating eggs. Oh, now we're supposed to eat a dozen eggs. It's hard to keep up. What are some of those signs of inflammation in the body that somebody in 40s, 50s might experience before maybe later in life, that full-on Alzheimer's?
Unfortunately, it is very difficult to give a set of those kinds of symptoms. And this is one of the silent killers, if you will. It's a silent situation. We just know that once you have inflammation, when you're not exercising, when you're not eating well, when you're drinking too much, and so forth, you know you're putting stress on the body. And as a result, the immune cells are kicking in, they're trying to defend the body. And that's what's really causing the inflammation. And it's the accumulation of all of that over the years, the decades, that eventually manifests itself in diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and ALS and so forth. And we believe fervently that it's really inflammation driven.
So do you have advice for people who are listening right now? Of course, we want all of the research, all of the efforts that can possibly be made into the cause of this to prevent it in the future and hopefully potentially to mitigate it once it does set in with, you know, dementia symptoms and those types of afflictions. But is there a reset? Is there a cleanse? Is there a way to undo years, decades of damage that we've been doing unbeknownst to us with how we've been poisoning our bodies?
It's unclear. I believe there is, and I'll give you some reasons for why that is in a minute. But I think that one thing that we can do is just stop further progression. And I know it's very, very hard. Stopping further progression means just eating a very healthy diet, cutting back on putting ourselves in environments that may be harmful, right? And just more exercise. Those are all things that we all can do, but I recognize that it's also very, very difficult to do. And the good thing is that there are a number of companies, a small number of companies out there that are working on therapeutics that aim at reducing inflammation as the mechanism of changing disease progression. And BioVie is one of them. And in one of our clinical trials for our drug candidate known as bezisterim, we found something very surprising and how it affects the aging process or longevity. What we found, well, first of all, the body as it ages, it naturally goes through a process called DNA methylation, where different methyl groups get added to the surface of our DNA. So think of it as think of a DVD and how you use it over the years, you may get scratches and smudges on it, right? And because of that, the laser is not able to decode the information on the DVD quite as well. Well, the same thing happens in our body because everything in our body is encoded for by our DNA and our genes. And as we age, if there's too much methyl groups that have been added to our DNA, the molecules that are responsible for decoding that information cannot read through correctly. So you get misdecoding of DNA. And that's why the accumulation of DNA methylation has been associated with a large number of disease. Now, I give you all of that background to say that in our Alzheimer's trial, we collected blood samples and we measured it for DNA methylation. And the measurement can be done using various biological clocks, which measures the actual aging of your body. That may be different than our actual chronological age. And what we found is that patients who were treated with our drug candidate bezisterim had upwards of a 5 years advantage on age deceleration compared to those that were treated with placebo. Now, before you go and get wild thoughts, it says this is a reversing aging and so forth. It's not saying that.
I'll take 2.
Yeah, exactly. Me too, if I could. But what it is saying is that the bezisterim may be having an impact on changing the way that our body is doing DNA methylation. And so while we cannot stop aging, we may be able to help keep us healthier for a longer period of time as we age, up to the tune of upwards of 5 years, right?
I mean, it's incredible to hear that, and also to hear that in conjunction with your first piece of advice is, if you're not doing it, now is the time to start eating healthy and moving. You know, when I hear people say, "Oh, it's time to exercise," people think like, "Oh, I've got to run sprints every day for 7 days a week." Maybe just take a walk for 10 minutes if that's what you need to do, and take a stroll, get some vitamin D in, and start using that healthy opportunity that you have right there. That's simple, and build on that if you so choose. But anything is better than nothing. But also to understand that medicine is headed in this direction to be paying attention to these important parts of our sped up aging process due to the toxins we've been taking in.
That's right. I'm quite hopeful that medication will be coming on the horizon. But until it gets here, anything and everything that we can do in changing our activities, our behavior, and so forth, just eat better, exercise more, and just avoid harmful environments.
Cuong Do, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. Highly recommended by Dr. Mark Siegel. He said you've got to get Cuong Do on the show, and I'm glad that we did. Thank you for the time today. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on. Great to be here.
Of course. Bye-bye. Is inflammation the name of the game? Everything I hear right now when it comes to health is inflammation.
Yeah, me too. When you said that, I'm like, yeah, I don't think you're alone, because I'm hearing the same thing. Everybody's talking about inflammation. Itis, that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that ends in itis is inflammation.
Yeah. Laryngitis.
Yeah, it's inflammation.
I'm still like looking into this, but my good friend Dr. Chris McCluskey, if you're looking for a chiropractor, check him out. He explained this to me, and I know this already. It's like, you know these things, but there's just a bunch of people who are telling you things about your health. But, drinking water. I would be a crazy person with drinking water. I drink water all the time, peeing all the time. And if you don't have electrolytes that are encouraging your body to absorb that water into your muscles, into your heart, into all the things that make your body go, then you're just passing water through. Like all the quantity of water that goes into your body is not the quality of why you're doing that is not there. So I've started he gave me some, but I started throwing some salt in my water once a day just to help with that process. And I feel the difference when I do it.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And I actually kind of like it.
Does it taste different?
Salty.
Put a little salt in your water?
Yeah. I'm like, how much? He's like, a pinch.
Okay.
So I do. I have it in my bag.
How do you feel different?
I feel, well, first of all, I don't feel like I'm not constantly crossing my legs because I need to get to the bathroom. Like, I think my body is processing the water differently. And if you're hydrated, everything, like hydration is everything. If you're hydrated, you're going to think more clearly. Your body's going to function more clearly. You're going to, we got a break, but there's hydration and then there's gut. Gut health is so in. Have you ever heard of putting castor oil in your belly button?
Not there.
When we come back, don't go away. This is so crazy. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Castor oil people, please, if you've never come to the Anti-Fry YouTube chat before, get on the Anti-Fry YouTube chat and tell me what you use castor oil for. I think we're gonna get some wild responses. If you're a castor oil person, I know you're coming out of the woodwork right now. Anti-Fry YouTube channel. Tell me what you use castor oil for. We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Leveling out concrete in your home, like outside in your garage, or like actually in the garage. There's a story that Matt Hayes of Home Shield Foundation Repair was telling me about how a garage like collapsed inside herself. Big problems. Now, that's extreme, of course. Hopefully you don't have that problem with broken concrete in your garage right now. But essentially, that foundation wasn't poured wonderfully. The new owners to the house, I think, didn't understand exactly how things have been put in there. Erosion sets in, water gets in, the support system goes out, the concrete goes down. That is a terrible situation. If you've got a driveway and you're driving into your driveway every day and there's that lip, that separation, the concrete cracked, but now it's gotten a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and it's become a problem, there's a way to solve that in a cost-effective way, and it starts with a phone call to Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Uneven or sunken concrete that's a safety hazard or an eyesore can be cost-effectively repaired with polyjacking. We're either going to take a polyurethane foam, inject it under the concrete, raise it up, level it out, make it look great, and make it safe once again. It also comes with a 5-year warranty. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
This summer, while you stay cool, our first responders stay on the front lines. The St. Louis First Responder Canteen is there to keep them hydrated and supported. Find out how you can help by visiting 971talk.com/talkinaction.
Big news for gun owners. Mark Cox here for the Range St. Louis West. You know, the big, beautiful bill eliminates the $200 tax stamp on suppressors next January, but the Range is celebrating right now. They're holding a sweepstakes for a new suppressor at the Range. The Range will give you a $300 credit toward the new suppressor, and they'll pay for the tax stamp. Suppressors protect your hearing, and they improve your accuracy. Sign up to win at therangestl.com/971 before August 15th.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 5-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area,
this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Castor oil. Do you know what castor oil is?
Yeah, it's something you gave kids in the 30s to punish them, according to cartoons.
I don't think that's wrong. But everybody had
exactly
it
what
around.
That's all I know about it.
I think the castor plant, whatever it comes from, is there a castor plant? I don't know, Mom. I don't know these things. I know you do. You're shaking your fist at the radio because I don't. It's poisonous. I do know that. Like, you can't, bite off some castor plant.
Oh.
Even if castor isn't a plant.
So,
whatever
but
it comes
we
from.
drink the oil.
Yep.
From the poisonous castor plant.
As a laxative.
That's not why.
In case you need a little, bump.
I don't.
I don't care.
Do you want to know more?
No.
The castor
I
plant.
regret everything.
Yeah, you did this. Last segment you were talking about peeing. Now you're talking about pooping, and lots of it.
I was talking about peeing. I'm like, that happened.
Yeah.
I've become like a voodoo master in castor oil since I had that really, really bad ganglion cyst on my wrist.
Gross.
Shut up. Let's talk about your gross things. Let's not.
No.
Never mind.
No.
We'll talk about that big thing on the place that you were showing Ethan before.
I would not show Ethan that.
Well, he was hardcore judging you when you left the room. Anywho, I had a cyst on my wrist. It's a ganglion cyst. It has to do with anytime I'm I think this one came from golfing. So I start using my wrist in a different way and repeatedly in a way that I haven't. Always have my whole life gotten these cysts on my wrist, basketball, volleyball, softball, track, whatever, because I threw in track. And someone said, put castor oil on it. And they're like, I know it sounds crazy, but just do it. And I put castor oil on that thing, and it had been hurting me for over 4 weeks, to the point where I couldn't sleep. Because if I rolled over in bed, the pain would wake me up. And I put castor oil on it. My husband went to Walgreens, got a little blue bottle of Walgreens castor oil, said laxative on it, and I put a little bit of that nasty sticky oil on the ganglion cyst on my left wrist. Put a piece of gauze on top of it, wrapped it in pre-wrap. It was gone the next day.
That's amazing.
It's wild. I do not doubt the science of it. And then I started telling people about it, and they go, oh, castor oil, do you know? And then they start telling me about putting it on their eyebrows and using it to lengthen their lashes and putting it in their belly button at night. They pour it in their belly button at night.
Why?
Because it helps with their gut.
I don't understand how a poison plant that kills warts could make your lashes grow. Or
It's a
whatever
wart
that thing
thing?
was, the cyst thing.
I don't have warts.
Well, whatever it was,
That's
it
what
killed it.
you have in that very private place.
This is all made up. If I had anything big or gross, I wouldn't show it to any of you, especially Ethan.
Are we talking about your personal problems right now, or the fact that castor oil is some
I
voodoo
said if
stuff?
So it's all hypothetical, and I don't understand even the reality of castor oil. Like, why can it do all these miracle things?
It helps with your gut. It does help with castor oil. It's with ganglion cysts. It's completely anecdotal, but my gosh, anytime I have an ache or a pain, it's supposed to relieve inflammation, which is what we were talking about before. If it hurts on me, I'm going, put a little castor oil on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
TheDiamondShop.net. That's the website. Go visit them right now if you so choose. The Diamond Shop is located in Clayton, and it is a smart move to go out there now. Hustle out before August 16th, which is when the summer clearance and estate sale wraps up. They have red tag clearance right now up to 70% off and 50% off all estate pieces. I think the estate piece sale, that's a fantastic opportunity to get something truly unique for somebody you love, even maybe for yourself. If you're into estate jewelry pieces, I know I have family members who love to look at that type of jewelry. The unique pieces that you're going to be able to find at the Diamond Shop, it's going to be worth the trip to Clayton to go in the store and to meet some of the best people in the business of fine jewelry. You can also become a VIP online at thediamondshop.net. Just sign up. I think it's at the bottom of the homepage. Quick form to fill out there, and you're going to be able to save an extra 10% on all red tag clearance items. So don't miss out the opportunity to save even more through August 16th. Thediamondshop.net.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholt of Kaufman Townsley. We've won the trust of thousands of clients who are victims of careless drivers. We have the team, the talent, and the tenacity to get you the money you deserve. Call 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Pay to stay. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. There's a plan to make some visitors to the United States put up a chunk of money as insurance they'll go home on time.
Some foreign visitors needing a tourist or business visa will need to post as much as a $15,000 bond as part of a pilot program from the State Department. The proposal would apply to people from countries with high visa overstay rates and come as the Trump administration is tightening visa requirements. Specific countries impacted will be listed once the program takes effect. The bond requirement would not apply to citizens of countries enrolled in the visa waiver program. The bond could also be waived on case-by-case circumstances. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott's threatening to have missing House Democrats removed from office. Dozens have left the state to prevent a vote on a new congressional map meant to give Republicans 5 more easy-to-win House districts.
The Texas Democratic lawmakers who have fled the state say they are going to take this day by day, but their goal is to hold out for at least the next 2 weeks until Texas's special legislative session is over. Every day they're gone, they're getting hit with a $500 fine, which that's going to add up for these part-time legislators who only make $600 a month, and most of whom have other jobs that they are also now not showing up for.
Fox's Garrett Tenney. A 14-year-old boy in Middleburg, Florida, calls 911 to report he'd killed his parents.
He walked to a church about a mile from the house before calling. Responding deputies did find both parents dead.
It appears that there was some sort of domestic argument last night between Trevor Lee and his parents, and that this shooting culminated from that argument.
Clay County Sheriff Michelle Cook says the teen left the gun at the house and deputies took him into custody quickly. They're still looking into who owned the firearm and how the boy got a hold of it.
Fox's Evan Brown. A rally on Wall Street today. The Dow's up 507 points. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our early August weather still easy to take, but temperatures will be getting back to that summer feel going through the week. A mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon, 83, partly cloudy, 67 for the low. Tuesday, partly sunny, 86 in the afternoon. Wednesday, partly sunny, 88. 90 to 91 on Thursday, 93 on Friday. And, of course, we're going to start to feel that humidity coming back. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show Live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan, and stay cool this summer. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You were saying?
Yeah, I was saying what? You were saying stuff, and I was saying other things, and none of them is for the air.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's good to have you here. Right before we went on the air, Ryan informed us that today is his anniversary, and Brad passed along his condolences to Mrs. Wiggins.
Yeah,
we'll get to that here.
Pass it along like a stone.
Ew, you would know. We're going to get to that here in just a minute. Before we do, I want to talk a little bit more about our YouTube live chat poll. Should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? Lots of messages coming in on this issue, including I'm getting text messages from my dear friends. Absolutely, people should be able to wear a MAGA hat at sporting events. People are allowed to wear Cardinals hats.
That's true.
Yes, it is true. But do you still hear music? Is that me?
Yeah, I think you're losing your mind.
Okay. I definitely.
What kind of music? Like big band stuff, or is it like
probably
rock?
Y98?
Actually, okay, fine. I can hear a little bit. There's no way that's coming over the radio, but I can barely.
No, he
barely
just stopped it.
Okay.
You guys will convince me that I've lost my mind at some point or another.
That's my
in
goal.
some way, shape, or form. So I'm always on edge on this. The MAGA hat controversy coming out of this past week, where the Mike White Soul, St. Louis City. Am I saying that right? Is it St. Louis City? Is that how you say it?
St. Louis City SC.
Do I have to say SC too?
Soccer club.
No, I think you can just say St. Louis City.
If I say Cardinals game, how do I say that for soccer?
Well, the hard thing is St. Louis City can mean things other than soccer, so it is saying.
Can I ask a separate question here?
Nah.
As somebody who actually I think I can.
Okay.
That was rhetorical. I'll let you know when I do the little forehead tilt towards you. That means you can speak.
Looking forward to that.
Woof.
Whenever that is.
As the aforementioned non-soccer fan, don't really understand. I don't disrespect it. I know it's a huge deal for lots of people listening, lots of people in the area. It was a huge deal to get a professional soccer team here. Is St. Louis City SC? Is that how you said it's supposed to be? Is that a dumb name? Or is that like the coolest name ever?
I'm waiting for the nod, Brad. Okay. Yeah, it's a cool name. It's a cool name. I like it. I think it's very
really?
Cool. Yeah, I do.
Ooh, no, I don't.
I like it.
Why do you like it?
Because
as a soccer family.
It's not presumptuous. We went through this whole phase in America, and I'm not saying this was bad, but where your team logo and stuff had to be cool and big and kind of gaudy. And this is the exact opposite.
Can you give me an example of what you're saying? Is there anything off the top of your head that is?
Yeah, like the Mighty Ducks or the Sharks. Or
what do you got against Sharks, man?
I mean, there was just 90s. There were neon. There were big logos and big ferocious things.
We know how you really just adhere to subtle.
Well, I just like the trend. I like the fact that it was one way, and now this is the opposite.
So you think this is reserved and respectful of the climate and the area?
And it's very much in the spirit of soccer. A lot of soccer clubs do that.
It is a soccer name.
Yeah.
Why don't you like it?
I don't like it because I think it's kind of weird. I just there's so many different, like you look at Chicago's team name and they're the Chicago Fire or, LA Galaxy. Those are cool names. There's still
those to me just sound like sports names and franchises like everything else.
Right.
St. Louis City SC is not even language that fits in my understanding of pro sports because it's a soccer thing, and soccer's as big as it gets in the world. So I understand that I'm on the outside looking in here. But
I think that because you can, it's like a collective name. It's not like the Cardinals, they're all a bunch of birds together, Cardinals, a flock of cardinals or whatever. It's a singular name that that describes the team. But then you look over in Europe, and what do you got? Teams like Arsenal.
Yeah, it'll be like Manchester United Soccer Club.
I don't get that either.
It's just a city name.
Is that a big
saying,
thing?
we're united behind
Are
our
they
soccer club.
Pretty reputable organization?
Man U is big.
As far as I understand it.
Steve just fired me.
Manchester United is a fairly large brand over there.
Is it popular? Have people heard of this?
They have. Yeah. If I've heard of it here in the middle of this country, then people have heard of it.
So here's what's going to happen with the conversation we just had. I just said something that is patently offensive to most people in the world because I'm acting as if Manchester United is not a big deal because I'm an idiot. I know that. I know enough to know that Manchester United is gigantic, right? Mm-hmm. I will hearken back to one time on this show where Ryan wore the most patently ugly shirt that has ever been worn in the history of shirts. And there's something about Dan Flashes. I don't know what it is. I still don't know.
I got it.
Shush. Don't do that now. Because that video, we made a short. And by we, I mean Brad. He set me up. I didn't know that it was a joke. I've never heard of Dan Flashes. I don't know that they're complicated designs. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I just know these are phrases. And if you're somebody out there who knows what Dan Flashes is and knows that some people even pay $150 for him or something like that, we made this stupid YouTube video about it, and it hit the Dan Flashes algorithm.
Did it? I didn't know this.
Yes, it's got like 6,000 views.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Just last night, someone's like, someone shut this broad up. She's killing the joke. I'm like, I didn't know it was a joke.
That was the whole point.
I didn't know.
That's great. I didn't know this.
It was just a terrible shirt to me.
This is great. I didn't know that this was happening out there in the digital world.
Kate Team says on YouTube, I didn't know either, Annie. Correct. Most of us don't, but this Yahoo over here wears a shirt that's an inside joke to a small portion of people, and our YouTube video has fit and found the algorithm, and now all those people, one person said, tell me exactly where this woman is located so I can never come into contact with her again.
Oh my gosh, this is my dream come true.
Yes, you've sabotaged everything.
This is great.
For a stupid shirt.
Oh my gosh.
George said, was this the Wagons pipe screensaver shirt? It was. I said in the video clip, your shirt has pipes and moons on it. And you kept going in riffs of whatever this insight, I don't even know what it's from. What is it from?
It's from I Think You Should Leave.
Which I don't even know what that is.
A sketch comedy show on Netflix that's very popular amongst certain groups. Although it's popular enough that he just did a movie with Paul Rudd, so it's pretty big.
I have to pull this video up and share it because I feel like for the people who there are people in the world who are only exposed to me and to this show because of that damn shirt.
If I could do that every day, I would.
I know, but all we would do is collect people who hate me.
Well, that's fun.
That's your dream.
Everybody's having fun except you, but that's okay. Period.
Gosh.
Do the forehead
You
thing.
haven't seen any of these things?
Just waiting for it.
You haven't seen these comments?
Well, I knew that this video existed, but I didn't know that it had a life outside of that day.
So this one person says she is murdering this joke. And I wrote back to that person on my YouTube channel. I know I was. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was a joke. I'm like, you don't know the joke. You don't know Ryan Wiggins would just wear the shirt because he thought it looked nice.
You know
Ryan
what's funny?
Wiggins dressed up as Cliff Huxtable to come to one of the events I spoke to at a Lincoln Day dinner. And he came home when you wore the Zach Morris meets Cliff Huxtable sweater
Yeah.
to the Madison County Lincoln Day dinner.
Yeah.
You wore this sweater that's nothing like anybody had ever seen. I remember Balls, a huge fan of the show. That was the first night he met you. And he talks about that. You wore this absolutely obnoxious sweater. What level of obnoxious did you think that sweater was before you walked into the event?
Oh, I'd say a 7.
So you were like, you were knowingly making a statement.
I thought this looks stupid, but it's not going to be that big of a distraction.
A 7.
I would say, yeah, it was a little out of the woods.
We go to the event, you walk in, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
It became the thing.
And so then that night you came home. You were sitting on, my understanding is you were sitting on your couch. Your wife had other obligations. She walks in the door, or did you walk in the door and she was home?
Yeah, she was already home. She was in bed.
She was in bed. You walk in after this event. She knew where you were. You walk in wearing that sweater. What happens next?
And then she didn't even care. She was just like, oh, you're home. Okay. And then she looked up and she goes, no. Did you really do that?
Yeah.
Because she also believed that I'm capable of walking in from an event, changing clothes before I get inside.
Just to screw with her?
Screw with her.
And she said no.
She said, no.
And you said
did not
what?
Go to that event with that. And I said, what? What are you talking about? And she started hearing music that nobody else could hear. Like she was going nuts. And then I had to wait for her to forehead nod me to talk again.
Yeah. That's because you're trained well. And when you said I did wear this, what did she say?
I thought she would start laughing, but she didn't. She actually kind of looked sad, like that it hurt her reputation, which was somewhat true because she has my last name.
Yes. We're going to talk about Ryan and Mrs. Wiggins' anniversary at 2:30. We're going to take a quick break because Ethan Sports and Local is next. We'll have to find out who's naming him this week, listeners or Ryan Wiggins?
This is still me. We're going to do a bit of a palate cleanse today.
Are you being respectful today?
Yes, I am.
This is Ryan Wiggins respectful?
This is me respecting Ethan's segment in time.
Sports and Local with Ethan next. And the update on Ryan's wedding anniversary. Let us know how many years you think they've been married in the YouTube chat. And vote. Should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? We'll be right back.
Speaking of big occasions, go to Andrea's for your next one. We love Andrea's. The filet, that's what I get every single time. The filet is 12 ounces, and we always get the big one because why not? It's the size of a softball. It's the biggest filet you will ever have. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a New York strip sirloin or a ribeye. Their large prime rib is bigger than the plate. So you're not going to get a bigger, better steak, but we just prefer the filet. And when it's an occasion, which Andrea's really is, I mean, we make it an occasion as often as we possibly can. But when it is, you want to get your go-to dish. I know you have a restaurant like that. Andrea's is ours. Make it yours. Go to Andrea's. See some of the renovations that they're doing inside, keeping that classic aesthetic, but just kind of updating it for today. It's an old house. I mean, it's a beautiful old house. And just walking in, you're going to know you're in for an experience. So if you've never been to Andrea's, go as soon as you can. Come up with whatever excuse you need to go there and get the filet. Get whatever you want, but get the filet. Go to Andreas.com to see their full menu, and you can get their sauce by visiting Dierberg's or Schnucks or other great stores in the area. Andreas.com.
Men. Need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido.
What is going on?
They accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how you could build your retirement on your terms. Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour Saturday mornings at 6 here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Like I said before, tariffs had absolutely zero effect on our equipment pricing. No manufacturer raised their prices. What has affected the pricing is the previous 4 years of these ridiculous mandates. I mean, I say ridiculous, it's shameful. But that being said, if you're told that you need a new system, or your air conditioner is bad, or you're looking to replace your system, if you want a common sense approach which works for you, your family, and your budget. When I say your budget, it never is what you want it to be on this equipment, but common sense approach, 15-20 minutes of your time, and explain to you your options. No Kool-Aid being handed out. I'm Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I. The easiest way to get a hold of me with the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, there's only one, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic deal. God bless.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What is going on with Ryan's shirt?
I can tell you there's a very, very good explanation.
Good.
I have won a major award.
Uh-huh.
And
So you feel like you can do whatever you want?
No, not at all. I have to dress up because tonight I have to go out to eat.
Do you have a change of clothes?
No, this is dressed up. I'm wearing a collar. See? I had to wear a collar to this thing.
I think the Playboy bunnies wear collars.
So I'm dressed up. I got this shirt. It's a very, very nice, expensive shirt. I got it at Dan Flash's.
How much did you pay for that?
This is like a $150 shirt. And it's because
Did
the
they
pattern,
pay you to take it off their hands?
I didn't buy it. My friend bought it for me for my birthday.
As a joke?
The pattern is so complicated.
You got it. Someone gave it to you for your birthday as a joke.
No, this is a very real shirt.
Ethan,
my friend who loves me gave me this from Dan Flash's.
There are pipes and moons.
There's so much, and some of the designs in it, that you could get like this are so complicated that they're like $1,000.
That's the video. You can check out the Annie Fry YouTube. We make shorts like that. I'm getting raked over the coals on our very own YouTube page. My YouTube page. It's got my name on it.
It's great. I did a bit for that whole show.
I didn't know it.
And didn't break.
And so I'm just, before we get to Ethan's local and sports here real quick, let's just look at some of the comments.
Oh, yeah, let's do this.
Read this first one here. Can you see that on the screen?
You walk by a store and see 50 guys like fighting me, or like me, fighting over shirts with complicated patterns. You go in. Yes, you do.
Is that part of the bit?
Yeah, that's a quote from the sketch.
Okay, read the next one there.
Okay, she really put her soul into not letting him talk and destroying the joke. Annie replies, full disclosure, I had no idea it was a joke. Ryan Wiggins is just that weird. I've learned my lesson.
Read the next one.
I love that he held the line for this joke. I did it for 3 hours. It wasn't just a minute.
Read the next one.
Is that darn it?
No.
I'll say darn it. Darn it, lady. Just let us enjoy the joke. The next one's even better. She sucked the life out of that bit. Holy cow.
Keep going.
The next one is a quote from the sketch again. 150 out the door. That's from the sketch too. I hope you weren't thrown down the stairs at Dan Flash's. It's because there's a brawl that breaks out in the sketch.
Read the next one.
Hard to watch. Hard to watch with that girl there. She tried so many times but failed.
I don't even know what I was trying to do.
Barf emoji. She's never seen the show, has she? Man, it's just comment after comment. And you said she had not.
Last one.
Who's the lady so I know to avoid everything she's a part of? Someone, please, for the love of, I won't say Jesus' name in vain, for the love of blank, respond because I'm not looking it up.
That's so
Who's
mean.
the lady so I know to avoid everything she's been a part of? This is beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you so much, everyone. I wanted to thank you. That award was great that day, but this award is better.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Give me a break.
Is it time?
It's time.
For the very respectful one?
It's actually about 5 seconds late.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local. Tickle Me Ethan's Frothy News Puddle.
I
Yeah,
decided.
look, they're like, don't listen to that lady. She's killing the bit. This guy knows his comedy. Tickle Me Ethan, what?
I decided not to do the respectful one.
Frothy
I'll save
News
that
Puddle?
one. Tickle Me Ethan's Frothy News Puddle.
I don't think that's appropriate.
We'll let HR decide that.
So let me just get this straight. You're saying that you decided not to do the respectful one.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that one tomorrow.
I thought that you were trying to make an argument that this was the respectful one.
No, definitely not. It was super funny.
Whew. What you got for us, Ethan? Tickle me, Ethan. It's not a request. Just to be clear.
You know, on the resume, on my resume, can I put
host of?
Can I? I think that I should receive further credit because
You get all
it's
the
even
credit.
harder to host a segment when it starts with that.
Oh, Ethan, I know. I know.
There could be a new interstate running from just outside of St. Louis deep into southern Illinois. Have you guys Have you guys heard about this?
No.
No, tell us more.
There is talks that eventually a new interstate could be moving from 2 to 4 lanes in southern Illinois to better connect the city of St. Louis
So
to
they're looking
southern
to
Illinois.
take roads that exist, but make them
Correct.
Is this
broader.
127?
It's 127, 154, and Route 3. The goal is to expand
Ooh, time
parts.
Route or route?
Route 3.
Route.
I think I say Route 3.
66?
Nothing
The
wrong
song
with Route.
says Route 66.
Route 66.
No,
but
you're not
Route
wrong.
3.
Okay.
It's a preference. Just curious.
I don't really have a preference. I feel like I say both.
Yeah, probably do.
I'm
as well.
just a poor little child that's questioning everything about myself.
Tickle me, Ethan.
You poor.
Did you just call me?
Ryan. Gosh. I'm deleting that video from our YouTube channel. He's too cocky now.
Let it percolate a little.
No,
longer.
no.
Come on, you benefit from
Don't even say percolate again. I don't even like the way you said that.
It was dripping.
Ew.
Into the puddle of frothy news.
Frothy news puddle.
This is not fair at all. So apparently, Murfreesboro to St. Louis is about 2 hours, and a big part of that is because it's only two lanes for the large portion of it. So the goal, right, is between Murfreesboro and Waterloo to expand from 2 to 4 lanes for portions of this. A letter from Governor Pritzker to Mayor Stevens, the Southwest Illinois connector, could generate a projected $1.2 billion in business revenue and an additional $300 million in tourism as a result of this. The project, though, could come up with $1 billion price tag, and it could also take more than 6 years to complete.
Congratulations, Illinois. What have you won? Higher taxes. Hey!
It'll bring in $1 billion. How much is it going to cost? Give or take $1 billion. Great. Wow.
So we're ending up breaking even.
And people are just dying to get to Murfreesboro. I can't tell you. All my friends are always like, you guys want to head down to Murfreesboro for
Do
the
they
weekend?
call it the borough?
Yeah, we just say borough. But it's like, nah, the roads are too small.
Takes too long.
Takes
I love
too long.
going. I love going down there to southern.
She likes the
Illinois.
borough.
Oh, I used to live in Carbondale. That's how I knew 127 was a part
Dirty
of this.
Dale.
Because there's a big pushback against it from anybody who lives on 127.
They don't want.
They do not want it.
all of the traffic and the people.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't blame them.
IDOT is currently asking for public input on the Southwest Illinois connector is what they're calling it.
Let us know what y'all think.
You guys supporters? Yes? No?
Don't know.
Off the top of your heads.
Don't.
That story was frothy.
Stop it. Gosh. Go sit in the corner. Go fix that microphone in there.
No, I'm having a good time. This is a great Monday for me.
For you.
Personally.
I don't know. I feel like I can understand the value of that kind of expansion, but anytime people come in and pave paradise like that, I don't love it.
I know.
So, shush.
Ryan?
Yep.
Turn off his microphone.
Yes or no? In support or no? Just with the information you have.
I think you got to let the people that it would affect decide. And if they are adamantly against it, because you could be for it too. If you lived by it, you could say, oh, this will bring a lot more commerce. You could be for that. But if
they may not want it.
But if they're all against it, I
Yeah.
would say you got to listen to them.
Yeah, I would too.
St. Louis will no longer issue construction contracts under its minority and women-owned business enterprise goals due to threats to take back or eliminate federal grant funds to cities that support these programs. So this is having a lot to do, right, with President Trump and some of his executive orders, right? Anti-DEI efforts.
You know, it's not just women and minority-owned people who pay into the tax dollar base that gets handed out to these folks, so I kind of understand that.
Spencer said a pause on new construction contracts that were done under the city's program would start today. So this is starting today. She also cited that she had cited that the federal grants are now going, because they're requiring local governments and federal contractors to certify the do not operate programs that advance or promote DEI. The elimination of such programs, it says, has been stated as a goal, right, from the president, from President Trump's administration. So it's going to be interesting to see how exactly this ends up, if this ends up having an effect on the area, if you end up noticing this. But it is interesting to see St. Louis having to be forced to comply with some of these things. And also stated here in the article that St. Louis, Kara Spencer, feels more of a need to have to comply with this because of, I think, some of the necessities as far as receiving help, assistance from the government in the cleanup of some of the tornado disaster and everything. That it doesn't feel like, based off what I'm reading, it doesn't feel like it's something that they can really fight on right now because of how much they need to just continue cleaning up the city.
Gosh, I wish that Illinois would invest. I say this all the time, but that Illinois would make a concerted effort to invest in the east side of the Mississippi River, in the shadow of the St. Louis Arch, to invest in businesses and jobs right there so that the people of those areas could have good paying jobs in their communities and protect that place, add an enormous amount of security so people feel safe coming and going to work, and they can come from their communities as well that are right there to do it, because that would do so much good for the west side of the river as well, to have some competition where if people want to invest in some business here in the St. Louis area. The best thing to happen for St. Louis City would to make it so that they are fully surrounded by pro-business areas. And I'm not holding my breath for Illinois to do it, but boy, gosh, that would be such a great opportunity. Got to get Kevin Schmidt to talk about that.
Speaking of that federal funding and of Schmitz, Eric Schmidt is urging FEMA to approve additional aid in response to the tornado in May in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Specifically, a debris removal request that was originally made by St. Louis's mayor. He sent a letter to FEMA's acting director asking for the approval of a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers mission to assist with the debris removal. Last month, the mayor's office announced a tornado cleanup phase under development with FEMA, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers would be involved, including private property debris removal and individualized assessments of debris removal. So it's going to be interesting how long it takes for this to really get going. And what the effect will be from FEMA. Uh-oh.
Check it out.
Sports and local.
Tickle Me Ethan's frothy news puddle.
Well, that's that. So that's from the brain of Ryan Wiggins, correct?
Yeah.
All right, that brain.
It's a broken brain.
That married Mrs. Wiggins some years ago. Let's find out about the anniversary. Happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Wiggins. Word has it that they went on a date last night. We'll find out what that looked like when we come back. Don't go away. RetirementKey.com. You can still hurry up and sign up for tomorrow's Protecting Your Retirement educational event. Can't wait to meet you there. A lot of times, folks, I know that you think, gosh, Tuesday, I might have something August 5th. I don't know if I can commit to that yet. And then we get a little closer. Look what? Your calendar is free. Sign up right now. We'll squeeze you in. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. The event is free to you. You don't have to pay anything. Just give them a call. Reserve your spot. Bring a friend, bring a spouse, bring a sister, brother, coworker, whatever. You're looking to retire and you want to know if you've got what it takes right now to make it happen or what you can do to make it so that you have a knowledgeable timeline and you can do so with confidence and peace of mind. The Retirement Advisory Group are specializing in folks just like you. If you're 59 and a half or older, there are things that you need to know to make sure that you can effectively retire on time. And the event is happening tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. at the Frontenac Hilton. I would love to meet you there. I'll be there at 6. Join us. Reserve your spot. 314-993-9494. RetirementKey.com.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game, stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, we're the home run hitters you need. Morgan & Morgan, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
That is catchy. YouTube live chat poll. Should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? Yes or no? Let us know your thoughts on today's YouTube live chat poll. We'll get the results here shortly. 2:35. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Cutting through the spin. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Where are you now when darkness seems to win? Where are you now when the world is crumbling? Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, where are you now when all I feel is doubt? Oh, where are you now?
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So it's Mr. and Mrs. Wiggins' anniversary.
Yeah.
Today.
Today is.
And you didn't take the day off.
No, we celebrated last night.
Huh.
we decided to do a night before celebration instead of a Monday because there's so many places that are closed on Monday.
How many anniversaries have you had?
18.
This is 18?
Yeah. I know a couple people guessing in the chat, and they were all around it.
And you were married
18.
in 2007?
Yeah.
Which means that it's going to be 18 for Jared and me soon. That seems like too long.
When is your anniversary? September?
September 15th,
Oh, yeah, it's right before my birthday.
2007.
Which always overshadows your anniversary.
In the
Sorry
eyes
about
of
that.
some.
Sorry about that. In the eyes of God.
Probably not. So 18 years, your marriage is now a full-blown adult.
Yeah, we had to send it on its way.
How has the that's terrible. Don't do that. How has your observation of your anniversary with your wife, not as a couple, but you specifically, when you get to the year anniversary, how has that changed over the course of 18 years of being together? How you reflect on it as a specific day on a calendar that marks something really important?
We used to celebrate them a little bigger. We used to go like on a at least one night somewhere. A lot of times, actually, we would just pick an Airbnb and just go somewhere that's not even that far from here. I think we've gone to Tower Grove before and just stayed in an Airbnb just for fun one night and went back home. But with kids, it changes. And now we probably should go do that more, but we do it less. And we always just go out and just have a date. It's really a date. We had to remind ourselves it was their anniversary last night because it just felt like we're just going out,
Do you look at 18 years of marriage right now and obviously it's an accomplishment, especially for your wife. But if you look at 18 years of marriage with one another and compare that to society right now, do you think about that at all?
No, not at all. We should. We should think about how important it is. And we used to do that more. We really did. We would sit
look at us.
And say, oh, wow, look at it's year 14 or whatever it was. And she'd go, oh, you have to tell me nice things about me tonight. You have to tell me some nice things. And I would say,
Did
okay,
you get
that's
her
fair.
flowers?
That's fair. No, we just went on a date. And
Are you getting her flowers
we
today?
went anywhere she wanted to go, except for I had one request. I said, we don't have to do this, but I have one request. I would like to go see a movie on our anniversary. And she said, well, what movie? And I said,
Sonic.
Naked Gun.
Did you?
And we did. We went and saw Naked Gun last night. And while we were there, a listener the theater was not very full, and one of the people in it was also a listener.
How do you
and
know?
Said hello, because he came up and said hi.
Do you just walk in the theater and just feel like I'm Ryan Wiggins in case anybody cares? Ryan Wiggins here.
I don't say that, but I do say I'm here, and then I bow, and then I sit down with quite a bit of regalia, and then we go about watching the movie.
What did the listener say to you?
He just said he was a fan. He watches the stream, and
Are
I
you
said
in Edwardsville?
in Edwardsville. I said, are you somebody we interact with on the stream? Because we interact with people as often as we can during the show. And he said, no, he just watches.
Hi.
But that he had seen me and couldn't place me and then heard me say something to Katie. It was like, oh, that's it. So hello to Greg.
Hi, Greg.
But we watched Naked Gun, and my gosh, that movie has some funny stuff in it. We were crying. It was that funny.
So 18 years of marriage, you're going to watch a movie. That's kind of like a kid thing to do.
Yeah.
You dated your wife through college, right? And then in and out several.
Yeah, I think we met when we were 19, and then we started dating, but we kind of dated on and off throughout college.
Is it weird to look back on dating? Because I think about every once in a while, Jared and I will talk about, because we started dating, I think, when I was 20, maybe 20 or 21, 2004. I would have just turned 20, I guess. And it's like sometimes I focus really hard on going back to that feeling and those thoughts of when you're dating, because you don't have this like guaranteed future ahead, so you're kind of always like in the game.
Yep.
You're always mentally testing where the relationship is, and you don't really know what the next day or the next week or year or whatever is going to hold. So it's a constant active participation. 18 years of marriage, it goes in and out of like business arrangement at times because you're coordinating, especially you've got 3 kids. Everything is coordination. Who's going where? How are we getting that done? You're talking about money and bills and responsibilities and expectations. And that can pull away from that time where you reflect back before, like the butterflies and everything that existed when you were dating. Can you mentally go back to that place before you were married and remember, whatever level of excitement that existed before it was a locked in done deal?
Yeah, I can, and I do. But the kids have just changed that. It's not as often that I go there in my head. I'm sure it's not for her. And it's also, it's strange to do that for more than just very briefly, because I don't want to feel like I missed that, because I like now, and I don't want to go live in the past. It's okay to acknowledge it and just remember that was a season and that was fun, but that we're in a different place now. And I really try to, I know I joke a lot, but I try to, romance to me is honestly just trying to keep her excited about everything, life. And if I can do that, then I feel very happy. I just feel accomplished as her husband. I feel like I'm
Do you feel like you know uniquely how to do that, like in a way that nobody else does? Like it's big things, but it's mostly the little things.
Well, it's finding what really drives her, which honestly is a process. I can't say that I knew that when we got married. I mean, you know it in general, but when you get older and you start to really find like that date, like you said, a lot of it's like you're just business, you're kind of going through the business of life. Well, what's that thing that really propels you through the business? Because that's what excites you. How can I cultivate that thing? How can I find that thing? And I've failed at doing that many times. But if I can do it, then I'm successful and I'm happy. So it's not just, I want to make you happy. It's, this makes me happy to make you happy.
Your pursuit of her and making her enjoy not you, but life that's happening with you.
Yeah, because that's my role almost as a protector, as head of the household, is to provide for her. And that is much more than providing nice things, although that's part of it. But it's providing the stuff that's going to keep her driven in Christ a lot of times. All of this really is, but in a lot of ways, it's just sort of finding that thing. And I will say this, that it's a pursuit, because I never really have it, but I've always got to be going after it.
If you felt like the pursuit was accomplished and it was achieved, wouldn't that, in essence, lead to failure? Like if you did it. I did it. I accomplished it.
Yeah, well, it never stops. And you almost have to acknowledge that you're never going to get there.
You're talking about your role as a provider and a protector. Do you expect the same thing in return from her in your relationship?
No. I expect different things. I can't even say what those things are without thinking about it more. But I don't expect that. I would hope that she has the same goal, and that is to seek what makes me, what motivates me. But I don't necessarily expect her to provide that in the same way that I provide for her. She would provide it for me differently, and it's much more of a support. But and honestly, a boundary. Like there are times that I'm very excited about things that she's like, I'm not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to acknowledge, and this is where God comes in, where I could just hear that and view her as a hindrance to the thing that I'm wanting to pursue. But instead, I try to say, I think maybe I need to listen to you because you're providing for me a check and balance.
You don't think that going into the relationship that you and your wife are 50-50, you're both supposed to provide the same things and bring the same things to the table, that the roles they're different for you and they're different for her?
Even suggesting that we're supposed to provide for each other 50-50 it seems absurd to me in the reality of doing it. And I'm not trying to make a social commentary. I'm just saying the reality of living a life where you're operating in the role as husband and she's operating the role as wife, it just doesn't play out that way. It just doesn't. And the things that she's seeking, I can provide for her in different ways than the things that she can provide for me. I do look to her for a lot of those supports, but they're very different than what I'm providing for her. So,
do you think society understands marriage, like, mainstream culture? Do they understand marriage the way you're explaining it?
Mainstream culture does not. But when you start doing it, if you allow for yourself to fall into those roles, they're natural. So once you start doing it, it just happens. But people fight it because there's a framework that they think going into it, well, this is what this is supposed to look like. And they kind of like try to shell that around instead of just letting it happen. Like it's I don't know. It's easier to do than it is to say, I think.
I think when you're measuring it, that's a red flag. If you're talking 50-50, whatever it is, if the measuring sticks come out, then there's something else that you got to look to. Greg says on our YouTube live chat, happy anniversary, Ryan. Met you and your wife briefly last night at the theater.
There he is. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg. Happy anniversary to the Wigginses. Wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about that. Congratulations to you guys both. 18 years is amazing. That's what Jared and I will be celebrating here in September. And it doesn't feel like 18 years, but at the same time, I feel like I don't have a life. I don't know my life without him. So, in that sense, it's like you do become one person. Wouldn't know what it would be like to try any of this without him. And I know you and Katie's wonderful. And so happy anniversary to you. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Please consider calling Matt Hayes and the great team at Home Shield Foundation Repairs to help you with that uneven concrete, especially if it's at a place of business. You've got an issue. Could be, of course, a trip hazard, could be a safety hazard, could be a liability. You've been passing over it, and it's maybe gotten a little bit worse, especially this summer with all the rain that we've had. If erosion has caused it to worsen, please consider calling Home Shield Foundation Repair to get it looked at. Just have them come out and tell you, this is what you're looking at. This is what we can do for it. You can make a decision from there. No commitment whatsoever before you have to actually, write a check or anything. You just reach out to them at 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, and call this local family-owned and operated business. Matt Hayes is a great guy. Family that is putting together this Home Shield Foundation Repair team that are the experts in the St. Louis metro area to help you with your unlevel concrete. Polyjacking with polyurethane foam injected under the concrete to raise it up comes with a 5-year warranty. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
This summer, while you stay cool, our first responders stay on the front lines. The St. Louis First Responder Canteen is there to keep them hydrated and supported. Find out how you can help by visiting 971talk.com/talkinaction.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, child, tired of the foolish. Gone, dust your shoulders off. Keep it moving, yes, Lord. Step into some new kicks. In there, swimwear, going to the pool quick. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify.
So, MAGA hats in sports stadiums. We played the clip from Mark Cox, who had Mike Weitzel on his show on Friday. So, did you guys hear from people? I heard on social media from people like, is anybody going to cover this? Like, there's some sort of litmus test as to whether or not we're going to talk about it. And I'm like, Mark Cox had him on the 97.1 on Friday. Like, he went right after it.
Yeah, I got sent it a lot by friends that don't even live in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Saying, did you see this?
It's a big story. He got ushered out. The police officers were reluctantly doing their job, I suppose. Is any of this on the police officers? I mean, they can't. Can they?
I don't know. Even at the end of the video, Matt says to him, "I know you're just doing your job." And
Matt
the guys,
or Mike?
They fist
Mike. Did I say Matt? Yeah. So he clearly is not trying to cause problems. I don't think the police officers are. They were given orders, and it is 100% above them. It's got to be, because this is a policy that somebody enacted and said, "You go do my dirty work for me." And they had to just enforce it. But they didn't know that. They didn't write the policies. They just enforce what they're told. That's why they're there.
But is the main question here, because our YouTube poll question that we're asking is, should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? Do you think yes or no?
Yes.
Brad?
Yeah.
Ethan?
If the other side is allowed to wear whatever or support whatever, then yes.
Isn't it a lot more work to police everything? Every political message than to just be like,
that's what you would have to do.
Yeah, grow up. Learn how to deal with your emotions. If you don't like what the other person thinks, that's all right. Learn how to deal with it with an adult. You don't have to have it removed from your site.
Isn't the real problem here inconsistency?
Yes, 100%. And also their own idea of how to make up a rule. If you have a rule on the books that says something about politics, then you have to have a conversation with everybody who could enforce that at your stadium ahead of time. Because maybe this is a rogue employee and they were going against company policy, but then the St. Louis City needs to say that
What
too.
do you do when you walk? I mean, I don't know if people are still wearing like BLM stuff, but there is certainly a time in St. Louis where you could see somebody wearing a BLM hat. If you go to a Cardinals game and the people sitting in the row, down in front of you and to the right, so you can see them, they turn and look at their family that they're sitting with and they got a BLM hat on. What happens next?
Yeah, I don't know. What?
In my mind, I go, a BLM hat. And then I look for the next pitch to be a striker or ball.
Well, also,
that's it.
If somebody complained, hey, you know what, that guy over there is wearing a gay pride shirt, do you really believe that somebody from the stadium is going to walk up to him and go, I'm sorry, we don't allow gay pride shirts here?
If I were offended every time I saw one of those, I would just live my life offended. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just choose to not. I'm not there for that. And the same thing, MAGA hats need to have the same permission to exist that all of this other stuff has.
Yeah.
And if I would rather go to a sporting event and not see any of it, that's probably the case, honestly. I would rather go to the baseball game to see baseball. But I know that's not realistic. And I also love my country that lets us say what we want to say, especially with the clothes we're wearing, as long as it's not patently offensive. And you don't get to just be offended by one political view. Ethan?
Result time,
Irvin?
268 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Should people be able to wear MAGA hats in sports stadiums? It's a close one today, guys. Just kidding. 97% say yes.
97%. 3% of you, oh, man, lighten up. Thanks for listening. The Mark Maroon Show on 97.1 FM Talk next.
So beat the drum.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
AirComfortService.com. The weather outside is not as frightful as it has been, but I doubt that we are outside of the super hot weather for good here in St. Louis. We all know what August in St. Louis looks like. Make sure that Air Comfort Service has your number is got to be on their list so they can come to your home to check out and do a maintenance check on both your AC and your furnace. They'll do both when they come out. 314-513-0091. Give them a call, schedule an appointment, have them come out and check what's going on. We were talking about this a little bit earlier in the show. I didn't get around to diving into it, but I'm sure we will this week. My electric bill is bonkers. If you have an AC unit that is overworking right now, you are going to be paying handsomely for it. This is the time to call Air Comfort Service, have a maintenance check, and save long term. If you need to replace that unit, they are offering 0% financing for up to 72 months right now. You can also check out rebates and federal tax credits that might be available also. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.